going. Get that screen share going. Turn up the volume so you can hear the stuff. So, you guys did it! You guys cast the Titans and all of their minions off of Mount Olympus. Rewards! Time of leisure, partying, celebration begins and ensues. Seemingly a very low drama level of activities, right? Wrong. Zeus offers immortality to the party at large, minus Alecia. Because Alecia just showed up, and they're like, who are you? While the druids negotiate with Zeus and attempt to sway him to their side of thinking, with the help of, in no small part due to Gyasi, an immortality is offered. Zeus implores some of you to think on it, make your decision cautiously. And those who seem most willing, being Ouroboros and Thalia, decided to accept that godhood in truth at the end of the day. They drank of the ambrosia and gained godly powers, immortality, expansion to their usual set of skills, and all of the gods welcomed them in trust. Gods, more than any sort of half mortal, half god, no diminished blood, but true divines now. In retaliation, Gyasi decided to take the ambrosia unto himself. He made his way to the top of Mount Olympus, snuck into Zeus's temple, stole the ambrosia and drank it, and became a god also. He also passed it along to Silenos. The gods were greatly concerned. Silenos decided to pass up on the ambrosia for now. But all of the druids and all of the half-gods were brought before Zeus and his court. Thalia and Ouroboros stood alongside the gods in judgment as Katara, Silenos, Gyasi, and the three druids stood in judgment. Zeus heard all that had to be said, and in the end decided to make some final judgments. He decided that Gyasi would be allowed to keep his immortality, and if he wished to retain some sort of divine portfolio over watchfulness as he desires, he must continue to serve the gods faithfully. And when the Titans are destroyed, he may just get his wish. But of course, Katara and Silenos were not guilty of these crimes, but a punishment needed to be exacted. For influencing the mind of some of his greatest mortal champions, Zeus declared a great punishment upon the druids. Alecia was indentured into the service of the gods. She is to fight alongside the Demithots and destroy the Titans, or never shall she return to the lands of Gaia again. What is this goddamn name? Yes. Ian Warren was, he passed over Ian Warren in punishment for he was sort of the major diplomat on behalf of the lands of Gaia and would not see a diplomat come to harm. It would be very bad taste. But that punishment would be exacted upon Valerie, the third druid who came. He cursed her to never be able to have food or water pass her lips, and yet never be able to die from hunger or thirst. She shall simply feel those pains forever or until the Titans are slain. And that is where the session ends. Gods have been made, punishments have been exacted outward, and now what do you want to do?
I'm taking Valerie to bed.
It is late. It's very, very late.
I'm taking Valerie to bed and going to sleep.
Yeah, you take Alecia, you take Valerie downstairs to bed and leave her in her room. She's probably wants to be left alone. She's kind of pissed off and doesn't want to say anything untoward. While you're around, you kind of leave her sort of stomping around her room angrily. Alia, actually Eros approaches you while you're in the hall preparing to go to bed. And he says, Thalia, I am so glad, despite all of this harshness that has ensued because of, Zeus. Me and Psyche are so glad that you will be with us on Olympus, joining the family forevermore. It it is great to have you here, and me and Psyche wanted to give you a gift. We've talked to Hephaestus and to Zeus, and we wish for you to have our home. And there's going to be a new home built for me and Psyche somewhere else on the mountain, but we thought it'd be fitting that you have a place near to your mother. So we wanted to give you our abode as a welcome party, as a welcome gift.
Aw, well thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I'm sure it's already decorated.
It is decorated excellent.
Excuse me. God damn it. You know
and he has a little chuckle about that. He says, "Indeed, we will be moving some of our effects, but I think you will not be unhappy with the finery. Psyche has the best taste. So, please, from us to you, welcome to the family. It's going to be wonderful having you here."
Stay with my parents tonight and look forward to moving in soon.
Well, you can move in as soon as you wish. We will be having our own accommodations down in the mortal world for a time, but getting away from all the drama up here. But we'll be around, don't you worry. But whenever you're ready, it's waiting for you.
In that case, I'll go check out my accommodations tonight.
All right, and he'll give you a hug and a kiss on either cheek, and once again say his welcomes to you, and we'll sort of leave you. And him and Psyche will happily leave, and Psyche would also come over and sort of say her congratulations, and very very festive and kind. But the two of them will depart, much like many of the other gods are beginning to. It seems that the mood of the night has somewhat been soured by the drama that has unfolded. Okay. Fantastic. And Ouroboros, it's already been told to you by Zeus that you have accommodations as well, being a god here on the mountain. And yeah, you guys can all find yourself to your various abodes. Thalia, indeed, you would find yourself to where you have walked past many times. Within your mother's garden is Eros and Psyche's old home. It is, just as promised, a place of beautiful finery, where there's velvet. There are it's a little not quite as furnished as you might have hoped. So they've removed some of their personal effects, but it's got a big, lush 4-poster bed, sculptures of various heroes, gods, mortals who were in history considered to be greatly beautiful or blessed by Aphrodite, Helen of Troy and such. It's very nice, very, very nice accommodations, candlelit and such. And Ouroboros, you find your way to your own abode, which is up on the 2nd level, and is similarly quite nice. A little simple, a little bit Spartan in its appearance. Very simple. It has a bed. It has maybe some weapon racks, table. Again, very Spartan, but you could have it accommodated however you would please. And per your divine will, you certainly could accommodate these, not having to go seek out someone to create simple things. You could if you wanted something a little bit more meticulous, but perhaps you two might think about what your godly realm might look like within these abodes. So give it some thought.
What can we do as God? I asked that to Zeus in the last game, but he just went through my features. So I was more
yeah.
Do we have the power of creation? Do we?
Yeah, he's been a god for a long time, so he didn't know. You know what I mean? He kind of overthought some things that are things that he's had all his life. And you'll discover them as we go through the game.
Okay.
There's some things that are off the sheet, as it were. But as you two stand within your abodes, you definitely feel that this place is yours. It is a representation of you, and as much as you are these pieces of mortal flesh, what you design this interior will be you all the same. Gods do manifest as physical entities, but they manifest as so much more as their portfolios. And in these rooms, in these homes, it should be an expression of your godly station. Maybe that is very simple to start out with. Maybe it's very complex even off at the beginning. But you could decide how the interiors look. As long as there's nothing in here that's like if you want anything specialized, like a special magical something, like a sensor for spying on the mortal world, or again, anything of a magical item quantity, you could go talk to Hephaestus about. But anything mundane, you could manifest within this space.
Cool.
Yeah. So give it some time, give it some thought. It might not manifest immediately. But eventually I would love to hear what, if a mortal were to step into the realm of the god of pain or the god of grace, what might they see? And that is what I'll hope to hear from you guys sometime. But in the meantime, Katara, Silenos, Alecia, and presumably Gyasi as well, as you may be a god, but you have not been acknowledged by Zeus as of yet, not until the gods are slain. May find your ways back to the bathhouse down below, if that is your purview.
That's perfectly fine. I've caused enough problems.
You're definitely like, okay, now it's time to sneak into Athena's library. No, we'll see.
Now.
Okay, all right. So you guys all find your way to your long rests. At the very least, there is a very plush, nice bed in Thalia and Ouroboros' sort of templed homes here on Olympus. And all of you return back to the bathhouses to rest. And you may go to bed and sleep. You may take your long rest, so no trouble will befall you on this mountaintop.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
Do we as gods need to sleep?
Yeah. You are not immune to exhaustion. There are many mythologies about various Greek gods sleeping and bad things happening to them when they sleep.
That's fair.
So yes, if we're going through the mythologies, gods do indeed need their rest.
Okay.
Okay. The sun rises in Mount Olympus. Apollo returns to his mighty chariot. His ever endless battle against Hyperion continues. You two, gods, Ouroboros and Thalia, feel it all the more pertinently. On your divine flesh, you feel the sort of almost not like the soft warmth that you might have felt as a mortal, but almost like this searing radiation. It doesn't hurt you. It's almost more of like you understand it's there more than actually feel it. But you feel this searing radiation, this overwhelming sunlit power that is Hyperion, that is up there in the sky. So, you all rise from your various stations, various places here on Olympus. Where would you go? What would you do? Perhaps all meet up down at the bathhouse?
I'll talk to Ian Warren when I get a moment in the morning.
Yeah, you find Ian Warren out as he does, like chilling in the grass, sort of like looking off the mountainside.
Good morning.
Good morning, Alecia. How are you doing this morning?
Could be better. But when I woke up this morning, the first thing I wanted to do was go get some food for Valerie. But then I remembered, oh wait.
Yes, she is. It seems she will be cursed. As the legends told, the gods are quite powerful. Certainly more powerful than me and you, Alecia. It's sad to say, but it is true.
The fact that the most powerful being on this, one of the most powerful beings on this plane could be so flippant is just, grr! And she's clearly like, grr! Like, but hushed enough so nothing, like, he doesn't offend anyone.
Like, I'd be careful.
I'm trying.
No, I don't mean saying unkind words, though you should always endeavor to be kind. I do more so mean underestimating him. Flippant, I suppose that's a fair word, but he is also been around a lot longer than you and I, Alecia. I expect that for however he seems, he's probably a great deal wiser and smarter than me and you.
Maybe. Do you have any idea how it might be reversed?
The
Beyond.
curse put on Valerie?
Yeah.
I expect appeasing the one who did it. I'd be surprised if there's any powers that we have at our disposal who could rectify such a thing. And you and Valerie have been kept from the lands of Gaia, so not even Gaia's cleansing power is close at hand. The only thing I can think to do is for me and you to do our jobs. You've been indentured by the Sky Tyrant, and I suggest that the sooner you take care of these Titans, the better, and he might be willing to release Valerie from her curse, as he said, if that is done. And in the meantime, I'll continue to try and create a kindness or some kind of understanding or bond. And well, I wouldn't count on it, but it's my hope that maybe as a show of good faith, he might release her from that curse if he thinks things are going in the right direction. So all we can do now, Alecia, is do our jobs, and that's what I would suggest.
Possibly. Could you keep while we're away, we and the others are away, could you just keep her company when she wants it? You know, I don't want her to be alone right now. If she doesn't want you to, you know, but
As always, I'll be there for Valerie. I raised her like my own, and we still hold that bond. So I'll always be there if she needs me to be.
okay. Like I give him a hug and I'm gonna go join the others.
Okay. Does the party wish to meet in the bathhouse and decide next steps?
Yeah, specifically I want to catch Katara up on our idea, which she would have been a part of.
Yeah. So I'll hit you with that real quick, Katara.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can do it if you wish, Dahlia.
No, go for it.
Okay. So basically, you and the rest of the party got together with Athena and were trying to figure out what to do next in the war. It was generally decided you were going to attack Oceanus, and you were going to do it in one of three ways. One of which was to go to the Kraken and release it, and see if you could find a way to direct its wrath towards Oceanus.
Okay.
The second was to go to the underworld and behest Hades to sort of rise an undead army to man a number of Athenian ships to lure Oceanus from the sea and defeat him somewhat out of his oceany realm. And of course, the last way, I think, was to just fight him head on, which is, I think Athena suggested the least of which. And anyone can mistake me if I'm wrong, but I believe those were the three tactics that were placed forth, and you may decide which ones is the ones for you.
I thought we were going to try to do the Kraken and the Undead Army. I thought it was kind of both, not just one or the other.
Well, yeah, you can talk about that now.
Yeah, I think whatever it is we're to do, we should get on it because time is still passing in the mortal world, and we've got curses to break, people to save, and things to kill.
Sorry. Can you repeat one more time the mission with we're just petitioning Hades to do what?
To basically raise an undead army to man a Athenian flotilla, like of warships, to sort of lure him out of the ocean and attack them, basically. I think that was also the third option, was just have Athenians man them, but obviously it's less wasteful to have the dead man them, and
It's a bit more fun.
I think the idea sort of around Tara might want to go to the underworld, so.
Yep. So I guess back to this conversation that they're all having, and she'll just sort of say, it's like, oh, well, I need to go to the underworld anyway, so this is kind of fortuitous.
And it would be.
I also
good
need
to-
Silenos to come with me.
When do you not need to go to the underworld, Katara?
Well, want and need are two different things.
Understood.
And there's a missing Titan that also needs a where in the world is,
Titan of Death. I
Titan of
believe.
Death.
That is what was brought up, is that you have 5 enemies left, which is Atlas and Kronos, who have gone to ground. Nobody's really sure where they are. There's Hyperion in the air, is always fighting Apollo. Oceanus, who has overtaken Atlantis and is imprisoned Poseidon. And last, who has also kind of disappeared but suspected to be somewhere in the underworld, is Iphitus, the god of medicine or the Titan of medicine and death, who will need to be dealt with sooner or later when he rears his ugly head.
We haven't found Prometheus, have we? Or is he in the underworld too?
That's a good point. I think they would have said that, yeah, or let me get back to you on that. I have something before that, but let me get back to you.
Okay.
I mean, unless something happened in the last 3 sessions, I did have some type of chat or something, and I can't remember if it was with Zeus or somebody else, but I think all I remember is that he's not on this plane. I'll see if I can find the actual notes, but I'm combing through them right now.
So I don't remember the specific circumstances, but
He's not on the mortal plane, that's all I know.
yeah. I guess yeah. He's still out and about. I guess I forgot about him somewhere along the line. He was producing doppelgangers for the Titans to sort of spy on the mortal world. So yeah, he's around still, but obviously not a frontline combatant like the rest.
So, what's the quickest way to the underworld?
Oh, I can just take us there.
You can just take us there?
Indeed, she can.
There's also a passage here on Olympus that is a little more direct, that is usually used by Persephone and Hades to come and go from Olympus.
Is this like a membership entrance, or?
No, you could probably use it if you wanted to, especially you two, who are true gods now.
I hate to be that guy, but is the underworld off limits to immortals and stuff? Or?
Roll me like a religion check to see what the circumstances of that are.
That'll be a total of 10.
10. You know that there's something about that where the gods either don't like to or are not allowed to go to the underworld. With a 10, you're not really sure which it is, but you know that there's something around that, kind of. Someone else could roll if they want to. And though, actually, Katara, I'd have you roll at advantage because that's your home domain.
And sorry, you said religion?
Yeah.
Natural 20. I'm back.
The dice tell a story.
So, Katara, you would be aware that there is no law that says a god can't go to the underworld. For all anybody matters, that like the whole of Olympus could just chill out in the underworld for all the time if they wanted to. Your mother told you that the political dynamic is that the gods want to be near towards where the power is, which is Zeus. There's no commandment saying a god can't go to the underworld. But many gods don't wish to for 2 reasons. One is that, there's 3. One is considered that the underworld is a corrupting force, and thus can corrupt gods and make them darker and less beautiful, perhaps, and your mother says, that's a myth, look at me, I'm beautiful. The second is that time works funky in the underworld, so it's hard to like keep track of what's going on everywhere else, which is the major reason people don't go. And then the sort of just below that is that Hades isn't a very good host. He's kind of morbid and considered not to be great company, so people don't really enjoy going there. So none of the gods are not allowed to go, they just really don't want to.
Mhm.
Hermes has to because he's the messenger god.
Yeah, I'll explain that to everybody.
Yeah, so you could all go if you chose.
What should we do?
And is that path like a common knowledge that it's like a path to the underworld through Olympus? Okay. Then she'd say it might be better for us to take the path though. That way I can bring us back.
Sounds good. When do we want to go?
I think the sooner the better.
All right. Alecia will say, before we go down to the place with the dead people, can I do 2 quick things real fast? I'm sorry.
Of course.
Don't
Thank
need our permission.
Yeah.
Well, you are gods, after all.
You do,
Don't-
but you don't.
Don't give them more egos than they already have. But yeah. First of all, Alecia will run up and talk to Valerie real fast before she leaves. Knock on her door.
What?
Oh, hey, yeah, me and the others were about to head down to the underworld. We're about to check up on things down there, get information on another one. I just want you to know that uh, we're leaving, and I just wanted you to see me before we left. You know?
Cool. Yeah, no, definitely hurry. Like, I'm pretty hungry already. And I know it's only gonna get worse. And my mouth is dry as desert, so yeah, the sooner you get on with it, the better, I guess.
We will promise.
I don't mean to be
And
grumpy, I'm just really hungry, okay?
I understand. I just give her a quick hug before we leave.
Gives you the hug. She's like already very hangry.
All right, but see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. Have fun with the dead people.
Bye.
Goodbye. Go back in her room.
All right, yeah. Okay. Okay, that didn't take too long. She's quick. Should I do this before? Wow, should I do this before I leave or after when we get back? I'll do it when we get back. I won't. She doesn't want to keep the others waiting.
Okay.
Probably also say goodbye to Valerie real quick.
Yeah, you say to Valerie as well. You sort of go in when Alicia's done. You can see she's looking pretty unhappy as said before, and she kind of says, "Oh, hi Thalia. How's it going? Going to the undead world?"
Thunderworld, yep, and hopefully we can correct this curse as soon as possible. In the meantime, I wanted to offer you my dwelling, if you would rather some privacy and some more comfortable space.
Huh. Roll me a persuasion check. Succeed a check for me if you won't mind.
31.
She goes, "No," and everyone goes, No, she goes, that would be, right, okay, your dwelling? And she'll hear about where you are, and she'll go, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, I'll go check it out, thank you."
Yeah, I'll show her. I'll take her over there and show her. And
What does she see as she walks inside?
well, it's undecorated.
Oh, okay,
so,
it's still undecorated, got it.
So it,
Just moved in.
yeah, I just moved in last night. It's still undecorated, and so
There's boxes everywhere.
since you won't have too much to do, would you like to maybe make this house a home while you're gone, or while I'm gone?
You want me to decorate your home? I've never really. I mean, I have decorated a home before, but I mean, not like this kind of home. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna like how I decorate things.
Well, if I don't like it, I can always change it, but I think I won't have much time to really be able to make much of this, so I'd like to see where you go with it.
Okay. Okay, I'll see what I can do. It'll be good to keep my mind off things.
So,
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you. And good luck.
and Valerie, I hope you can try while you're here to maybe get to know some of the gods, specifically Aphrodite and Eris and Psyche are just lovely. And there's some really great individuals up here, and I think you might come to better understand my way of life. I hope your stay is not too painful.
Succeed for me another persuasion check if you don't mind.
I got a natural 1 for 19.
Natural 1 for a 19. What? Do you want to roll a magical guidance because you failed a check?
Is a 19 a failure?
She's pretty fucking pissed at the gods right now.
Yeah, I'll re-roll.
Spend a sorcery point.
26.
Alright, there you go. Oh my god. She sort of, you see she goes to say something, and then you like force upon sort of will your words some of your divine power. She sort of almost stops herself and kind of says, sort of almost relents, as if the argument was already started and completed at this point, and she says, okay, I'll talk to some of them, sure. The lover has been a friend of the druids, and her children I'm sure aren't that bad if they're your siblings, I guess. So sure, maybe I'll see how they're doing, I guess.
Make the best of your time here, and I will return as soon as I can. And she'll give her a kiss and meet up with the others.
Oh yeah, and she kisses you wantingly. And you leave her looking a little like, just like a little bubbly. And as you close the door, she's like, how did you get to agree to all that? She's just like, I have no idea what just happened. She's like, what? What did I agree to? Well, she probably won't figure that out until an hour later, where she's like, what happened? But you rejoin the party. So near toward the currently empty domain of Poseidon, near toward the front of the mountain, there is a stairwell that leads down to that watery realm, and carved into the side of Mount Olympus, deep into its interior, is a black and dark cave. And beyond a glowing red light, colors and feelings, aura that you have felt before in a much more deeper and darker realm. You pass through and in to the interior, leaving the light of the sun behind, and very quickly come upon a hole in the ground that indeed spouts a hellish red light. You descend.
Swan dive, in fact.
You guys all begin to fall down, and you may recall at one point,
Alicia's surprised. I guess we're jumping. Ah!
yeah, everyone just sort of like doesn't think much of it and just jumps in because they've all done this before, and you're like, what the fuck? As they all just like jump into like an endless hole in the earth. You're like, okay. You all jump in. It is not near quite the fall of Tartarus, where you spent several days descending over and over and over. No, not this one.
Several days?
Yep.
Yeah.
The descent from the underworld into Tartarus is a fall that takes many days. Yep, that would kill most mortals. just from pure starvation, hunger.
How did you use the bathroom?
You just go, man. Uh, but anyway, no, you guys fall, and you descend for a while. You descend for probably like a good. Actually, you have the company of a couple of gods with you, so I will say you begin to fall, and the ground gets no closer, and you have this sort of nostalgic feeling of like, oh fuck, here we go again, this long ass fall. But it's per the power of the god of pain and grace at your side, and also another sort of renegade god, not unlike one you knew before. You find yourself, your descent suddenly becomes much more pointed and speedy, and you find yourself falling until the roof, I guess, opens up into an endless cavern. You cannot see left and right, but you can see down below. And as you descend downward more, you find that the realm has changed around you. You have entered into the underworld. You see way up in the north a realm of black shadow. You see off to the east a beautiful land of grain, wheat, sunlight, spanning gardens and gentle spirits. You see just beneath you a massive black spired palace, a castle of darkness. And many other sort of realms that lay beyond this realm. You have entered once more back into the underworld, the realm of the dead. You descend, you fall. Where are you going? Where the Demithots mean to make their final descent to?
Hades' palace, maybe?
The Palace of Hades, certainly. That's where we're going?
The land of Nix.
Yeah, he's like, bye guys. Okay, let's go to the underworld. It sounds like, are you tailing off Silenos, or are you going with them to there?
I think they won't realize until we get there that Silenos is going to. Yeah.
Yep, Silenos, you just sort of mid-descent sort of like wrap yourself in your cloak and vanish. What about you, Katara? You see there's a sort of misty mountainous land off to the southeast between Elysium and the many entrances from the mortal world where you know your mother lives. Where are you going?
She's gonna try to bring Silenos to her mom. She is.
Yeah. He's not invisible. You could see where he goes. He won't go invisible for that sake.
Yeah, you just start.
But
if I see him drift off, I will say, I'll like telepathically message him and say, I need you to go to the land of Nix for me. But first I'd like to stop at my mom's house.
you need me. Okay.
So Silenos sort of diverts course, and Katara and Silenos are going to tail off and go find the realm of Hecate, whereas the rest of you are going to go to the Palace of Hades, his fortress. We will go there first, since there is a majority who means to attend that dark place.
Alicia's new here, so she just follows the others.
You come to a great and dark palace, one that holds dark memories for some of you. It is where you encountered Kronos in battle for the first time and were powerless to stop him as he banished your friend and lover to one of you from this time. It is a place that holds great memory for this party. But now you return gods. You enter within, the undead guard allows you to pass, and you find your way to the throne room of Hades. Boy, Alecia, this is not a great place. This is the opposite of, like, just in a pure energy sense, this is the opposite of everything that the Druids stand for. This is a place of anti-life. This is a place where life goes to be perished and to remain perished. This is not a place for Druids. This is not a place for your power. Gaia has no hold here. No power except what you bring.
I'm encountering that a lot recently.
Yes, Gaia seems to be Well, I'll say that you feel that, and as you approach, quite strangely, you see there is this barrier of like trees, these great sort of dark and strange trees, but they're alive. And as you wander past, you do feel the spirit of Gaia sort of permeating through a little bit. The actual energy of the land is indeed a land of death, but there is life here. Surprisingly, there is life here.
Do I see any animals?
No.
Huh?
Oh yeah, there's her body. I forgot to remove her body. Hang on. You walk through the hallowed palace, and you are going to come to see two figures standing before a mighty throne of skull and bone. The first of which is the most imposing of the two. Dead gray skin that is pulled across a mighty strong body. Black markings run down his face, and deathly all-knowing eyes sit within his skull. He has upon his brow a black helm of jagged, that has jagged horns and spines coming out of it. And in his hand he holds a mighty black bident with two prongs. Beside him is a much more light and beautiful woman. Long blonde, straw blonde hair. She does wear sort of blacks and purples as her garb, but a beautiful woman nonetheless, who seems to radiate an aura of life despite her appearance. Everyone in the party would know they stand before Hades, the king of the dead, and Persephone, the queen of the dead as well.
Very
He sort of looks at you all and says, Demithots, uninvited guests, unscheduled in your comings, and surprisingly, more than you are than when you left. Welcome back.
I will whisper to Thalia, are we supposed to bow now or something like that? Or
All divine except for this one. He looks at Alecia.
I step forward and introduce myself as Archdruid Alecia of the Circle of the Moon from the lands of Gaia, and I am honored to be visiting your great abode.
I see.
He's been press gamed.
The influence of my brother, no doubt.
You would be correct. And Persephone, it's lovely, such a pleasure to see you again.
Persephone smiles widely and says, and good to see you as well, Thalia. Interesting, a druid. There hasn't been druids in the mortal world in hundreds of years. How interesting.
Things seem to be changing. The druids are willing to change with it. Is it?
Hades says, much changing on Olympus indeed.
Zeus is free again.
Good to hear. I'm glad someone was able to deliver these news. Hermes delivers the dead, but does not deliver news from up above. It's been some time.
With the help of the druids, we were able to push back Kronos from Mount Olympus, free Zeus, and send a few of his titans your way.
As I've noticed, my prisons grow fuller once more. Excellent.
Well, there's still a few cells empty, and we need to fill them once again.
Yes.
Ideally, Oceanus next, and that's why we've come.
I see. Well, stay a while. I have no doubt my wife will be entertained to have guests from the mountain. All of you are welcome within this palace, including your new demigod.
Well, we're humbled to be your guests, and although we don't have much time, as you know, time is against us, and we were hoping to ask a favor of you.
I see. A favor. What favor would this be?
Oh, just an undead army.
You get a smirk from him, which you get the sense is the best that most get. You get like a smile from me. He says, a request my brother has come to me for a number of times.
Oh. I didn't realize. Well, we intend to draw out Oceanus with an undead army manning a fleet of battleships. And once Oceanus is pulled out of this watery domain, hopefully it'll be a little easier to take him down. And so we're hoping we can use your army to draw him out.
He sits in his throne. He looks to Persephone, and Persephone says, "These are unusual times, husband. The underworld created these problems. It should be to the underworld to help solve them." Hades says, "It has long been the covenant between God and man that those who take their rest have it, whether for good or ill. But there is something to be said of the punishment of dying again, seeing home once more, and seeing it lost. But then some may relish the opportunity to grant themselves glory. I will need to handle this most particularly. I simply cannot have warriors of Elysium being ripped away from their due afterlife, and I cannot have those meant to suffer in Tartarus gaining the joy of glory. Perhaps there are warriors in Asphodel who might have their sentence lifted earlier. I will have to look through the books, as it were."
Well, thank you for your consideration, Hades. It's greatly appreciated. This would be a big help in the battle.
Sir looks to Persephone, who smiles at him, and he says, "Very well. Give me a short amount of time. I will not keep you for very long. Certainly not enough for time to warp where you have come from. But I will need to assemble how many? You wish for an army of how great, how grand?"
I'll turn to Gyasi, who better understands how many people are needed on a warship.
Let alone a flotilla.
Yeah,
Several
not even-
warships.
As we're looking to man the Athenian navy as a lure, it seemed wanton and gratuitously wasteful to man those vessels with mortals, because the return trip is going to be fairly immediate. But it's something that Oceanus is going to react to, particularly if the Skyphios is at the vanguard. It's provocation.
I see. I may not be my brother Poseidon, but I have received many souls that he has damned down to me, and know what they speak of, these Athenian trimray, that each ship hosts 200 souls, and you wish for a fleet.
Yes.
You wish for some 2,000 souls at the very least, I would imagine. 10 ships.
Yes.
He looks at you not with the look of someone who's like, how am I going to organize this? Like, it's not at all like that for him. You get the sense it would be at the snap of his fingers if he wished it so. But he does sort of lean back and says, indeed, it will take me some time to ensure the correct souls are dedicated to this task.
Hades, if I may,
Yes.
I am a bit curious. I'm sorry.
He said, yes, newest god of pain. Welcome, by the way.
Thank you. Also, we do apologize for the unannounced entry. I'm sure you can understand that the circumstances are quite dire.
That was my intention when I released them, for it to be dire.
Indeed. They definitely lived up to your wishes.
Indeed.
Anyway, I was curious what would happen to the souls that you pluck and put on those ships. Once they die, what happens to them? Once they are slain by Oceanus?
They return.
Just out of curiosity. Eternity.
They return here.
Oh.
It is not
Simple enough.
a peaceful thing for a dead soul to return to the land of the living without a body to host it. It is something that racks that soul with discontent and despair. It is not a kind existence to the soul to be exposed to the mortal world. Which is why we ensure that Hermes collects those souls upon death so very soon. This will not be a task that will be painless to those that I indenture. Which is why I shall pluck them from Asphodel.
And with this undead army, do they need to sleep, eat, drink, breathe?
Depending on how I return them to your lands, no. No, they do not.
And so if needed, they could siege an underwater city?
Again, it depends. The act of bringing about undeath to the land of the living is a sacrilegious one to the underworld, but one I am willing to do because of my causing of these pains. It depends on how you wish for these souls to return. If you wish for them to man ships, I am going to need from you in the mortal world a grand bringing of something resembling material body for them to inhabit. The bones of the dead, perhaps even the flesh of the dead, if you cared to collect that. But rest assured, it will be the dead crypts of the Athenians that will rise again, the bones of their ancestors that will walk down their streets. They will not manifest from nothing. The souls will be cast into the world and they will seek vessels. And those vessels will be their ancestors. Make no mistake, this will be a scar to the heart of the Athenians to see their honored dead rise again.
Well, great king of the dead, your enlightening words have been just that.
If you wish for more powerful dead, god of pain, then I suggest you go into the world and seek those blasphemers who would wish to raise those eternal souls of the underworld that I have so desperately sought to snuff out. Perhaps there are necromancers, followers of usually Hecate, my counterpart across the way, who may possess such powers that I ordain to be blasphemous. Perhaps they might help you create stronger undead, but you would need a great many of them or one of great power. And if you could find those people, well, I do not see why I would let them live afterward. Persephone says, oh, husband, they would be helping to stop the Titans. Perhaps some immunity is given to them? Yes. We will speak of this if you happen to find such wretched souls, if you intend to actually make the seeking out. But if this is to be 2,000 souls, whichever necromancer that you find must be worth more than his salt. He must be worth 2,000 of his salt. But I digress. Far easier to raise the souls of the dead and have them inhabit the bones of ancient Athenians. Not the strongest undead to be mustered, but the simplest ones for your purpose. They will row your oars and fire your siege engines, haplessly against Titan body. Now give me time. I must visit Asphodel and select these souls to follow.
Thank you for your grace.
My wife will host you in the meantime. I've no doubt there will be much she will wish to be entertained with you by. And Persephone sort of smiles at you all and says, it's always good to have visitors. Hades will stand and smile at Persephone, and she'll kiss him, and very lovingly. And he will smile at her, a warm smile that you do not see on the face of the god of the dead so very much. And he will sort of exit his own hall and begin to survey the dead of Asphodel. Persephone will approach you all and say, well, why don't we have tea?
Oh, thank you. Was that Thalia?
Oh, I was just saying that about that.
Okay. I go up, if I may, I go up to Persephone and say, Lady Persephone, as you may know, the history between our people, the gods and the druids, is scarred and brutal, but I hope this is the beginning of a new future for both our people. And I offer her a rose, and I offer her a rose as a gift.
And she will, as she places her fingers around it, it's sort of like in a 2 or 3 times the potency of druidcraft sort of inflates, and the thorns grow sharp and the stalk grows large and the petals become vibrant and radiant and sort of wrap and lace around her fingers and become long with these vines. And she will take it and smile and say, thank you. I admit I was not born during your Druid War. I was not a part of that, but it's good to hear that the Olympians are making friends for once.
Well, that's something we have in common. I wasn't born during that time either.
No, I don't expect you were. And then you see that as that rose grows, it starts to blacken at the tips and wilt and fall apart and sort of drift down and sort of fade into nothingness. But she does not look unkindly or like this is like she was angry at you or anything like that. It is simply how nature works. And she smiles and sort of gestures for you all to follow, and she indeed will take you to like a study, like a sitting room amongst a study. It's too bad that Katara isn't here, because volumes of undeathly lore and the names of fallen warriors of Elysium and many great tomes of the dead sit in this hall as you all sit around and have tea.
A thought suddenly crosses my mind. I ask Lady Persephone, Lady Persephone, would the souls of all the dead since the gods came here, of all the mortal dead, are here, correct?
My husband keeps records of them. This is more of a study for sitting and reading, not such analytical things. But of course, my husband keeps a book of the dead.
Interesting. So would the druids from the Druid War also, their souls also be here?
Yes, I imagine so. As I said, my husband is the god of the dead. It's his responsibility to keep track of them and care for them.
Uh, I just never considered that possibility. Thank you.
Oh
Is-
yes, I believe many gods keep similar volumes. I believe Aphrodite actually keeps a book of love, as it is called, and it is a very expansive book of coupled names and all kinds of things. And similarly, my husband has such things, such as all those who have died and their punishments and rewards.
Would the druids who warred against the gods, would they have been punished here?
Oh, certainly, I imagine so.
I see. I hadn't considered that actually.
Well, they did war against the gods, and such a thing is considered a blaspheme, and blasphemers go to Tartarus, usually. So, yes, they are probably down there.
Just Alecia kind of goes quiet and just thinks to herself.
You see Persephone, there's a bit of a look of, like, pity for that, but certainly not like a you have a you have a pretty good passive insight, Dahlia. Like, there is like like, I'm sure that's rough for you, but not like a remorse. You don't get the sense that she, like, would ever think to contradict her husband. And just sort of gives you, like, sort of like a pitiful smile, and sort of like turns her attention away and says, "So Thalia, the domain of grace, it's been long enough that we haven't had such a god in the ranks." And we'll begin to talk to Ouroboros and Thalia, and eventually Gyasi, very awkwardly, about the circumstances of your divinity and your domains and such. And we'll speak to you all, and you'll have a nice little sit down, and maybe we'll come back to that if you wish to play that out. But in the meantime, we need to go see what's going on with Hecate. So, the lair of Hecate. Once more you return to that strange place. The walking house of Hecate. Oh man, it's been so long.
Silenos pets the eyeball cows.
Yeah, the eyeball cows are... I need to get some eyeball cows out, hang on. I forget what they're called, but... We'll just, you know what?
I don't know, but I love them.
I can't remember what I named them. They were like awkward names too. But like Bill and Ted or something.
One of them was named Juggly and Tessa, I believe.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Juggly is what you guys decided to name
Yes.
some of them.
Y'all called beholders eyeball cows?
No, they're like they're.
They're
Oh.
like
I don't think they're
floating balls
actually
of eyeballs.
beholders. Yeah.
No, they
Basically
are.
eyeball cows.
No, they are. But
Oh,
but your
great.
mother has always called them like
Oh,
like
but they're nice
pets,
to us.
her sheep, her pets, you know.
Are they like
Aren't
those
they
lizards
sentient?
where if we piss them
Sure.
off, like all their eyes would like.
Yeah, they're
That just
Sure.
makes this whole thing way better when she comes over and she like gives them like scritches.
yeah
I
they
think she's
float over.
enslaving those sentient beings, guys.
Oh, these are not beholder. Well, they are a type of beholder, but they're known as deathkiss.
Oh, beholderkin.
Which we don't have minis for, so we're just gonna use beholders. But yeah, they just sort of float around sheepishly, and they go, "Hello, Katara, welcome back."
Oh yes. How have you been? Mother treating you well?
Of course, your mother is so kind. She keeps us safe from all the bad things out there.
Well, I mean to talk to her.
Oh
Is she
yes,
home?
she's in. You want to talk to your mother?
Yes. I do need to. Well, let me talk to Silenos first.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go get her. Come on, Peggy. And they float away.
So yeah, she'll turn to Silenos. I don't know exactly when we'll get the next opportunity to be here. And I know we don't have a lot of time, but quite a few ingredients I need for my potion. 2 of which I'm not able to get myself. And in truth, I think you're the only one who can. They're both from the realm of Nyx, but I can't pass there. And to my knowledge, most gods can't either, if not any of them. I specifically need the roots from a sacred tree found in the deepest corners of the underworld, infused with the essence of Nyx, and then extracts from Echidna's garden deep within the lands of Nyx, where darkness consumes all things. So one of them, it sounds like it's in there already, and the other one's a sacred tree. And then it has to be brought there. But I mean, this is a walking tree, right? Sort of thing, like a walking
Yeah,
house.
does this work? And I'll just like,
Yeah.
and it's like actually like an arm.
Oh, Jesus.
I think, I don't know, my mother might know where to find the tree, but I can't bring anything there or take anything out.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry for the hesitation. Of course, again, in truth, this could be the last time anyone ever goes there. Have to see. I'm at a bit of a crossroads. So, of course, I'll get those for you on my way.
You hear, indeed you are, Silenos. As you see the 3 forms of Hecate approach. As a crossroads you indeed are at. You imagine, Silenos, that my eyes have not been upon you this entire time.
No, I just know that I'm not in favor with most gods, so I'm not quite sure what you might think of what you've seen.
Do you think I am in great favor with Olympus? As I remain out here in these misty mountains at the edge of the furthest plane of existence.
I understand the feeling. Do you have any advice? I don't know that I fully believe all the other gods. I don't know that that Nyx is a force of totality and finality.
It is as they say. Nyx is shadow and is darkness. But what you must understand about these primordial entities, Eberos, the underworld, and Uranus, the sky, and Gaia, the earth, these are not things of good or evil. Not like myself, not like you. These are just things that exist. They're out there. And where there is darkness, there isn't light. And where there isn't light, there isn't warmth. And where there is the cold, there is death. And even then, the dead are obscured by that darkness. Shadow is end. You have not been told wrong. You have crossroads to follow, Silenos. And there will be no going back once you've made your choice. And I'll be excited to see which way you go.
Would Silenos know if it's like appropriate to refer to her as like queen? Is she like queen of the dead, or like what would I refer to Hecate as like a respectful thing or like an honorable?
You could say like, many mortals do many sort of titles. Like a queen would be probably incorrect, but you could say like, you could probably just call her Hecate. She wouldn't be offended.
Yeah.
You could say like Lady Hecate or Goddess of Paths or If you wanted to treat her with like utmost respect, you could refer to her as like a title of like by her domain, like great goddess of the moon or whatever.
Yeah, like so I'll just refer to her. I'll just say, I appreciate you for your truth with with what truly is.
And she'll lean into you real close. And she'll say, and I appreciate you for having followed the path I led you on. I was always curious to see if you would end up here, this far along the road.
I fear if I keep going down the path, I will be unable to. I will lose Silenos.
Yes.
I seek to be the balance, but I think I just have to go there.
If you go to Nyx, to the lands of shadow, and embrace it fully, you will become all that shadow is. Shadow is obscurity, darkness. It is shapeless, much like what you would become. You would become darkness. You would lose Silenos. You would lose all these things that bind you to my daughter and her friends. If you wish to embrace the primordial entity of darkness, you will become it. Nothing more, nothing less. This identity you cling to will be gone. But if you go with the gods, if you embrace their path, you will become as much Silenos as you have ever been. Perhaps that might help you decide. Will you embrace Silenos, or embrace the end of Silenos?
It's time to go find out. And he'll just turn to Katara, like to her face. Do you need anything else?
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
know.
I just
Mother, do you have a root of a sacred tree that he can take with him?
Of course. She will wander over to one of these strange black bony trees, and she'll sort of twist her finger up as if like commanding a dog. And one of its roots will shoot up from the ground, this sort of black, almost obsidian-like root, and she'll snap off the end of it, and return and hand it to you, Silenos.
thank you very much, Guardian of the Shades. Light and darkness, and he'll.
And she looks quite entertained, and after a moment of like looking around, as almost like amused that Silenos is gone and that she cannot see him through her godly eyes, she eventually like, "Oh, Katara, how good to see you. I'm sorry I did not mean to ignore you. It's just that Silenos has been something of a little project of mine."
It's okay. It's quite interesting, I must say. Always turns up something
Thank
new
you.
or changed.
Yes. I've always been trying to figure out the bounds of Nyx's power. And I think Silenos will be the key to helping me find out. And then a sort of like look overcomes her eye. And I'll say, Katara, in this moment you have known your mother for many hundreds of years. She is the goddess of pathways and has often manipulated the path of great heroes for her own curiosity. It seems that Silenos has fallen victim to one of those plays for her curiosity. You see that in her eyes in this moment.
Well, I do hope one path at least brings the items back I requested. In truth, I don't know how else to get them.
Oh, of course, daughter. I have no doubt he will succeed. You know I would never allow my experiments to get in the way of your own desires.
Very kind. I wanted to talk with you. I mean, I've been working on the potion that you helped me translate. I've gotten most of the items. I'm still trying to track down the rest. But I fear we don't have long here before I have to leave. But I also wanted to talk about, well, the gods gave us an offer. And, well, in truth, I don't feel much like myself. I've been hearing things. More so than usual.
Yes, I have noticed, Katara.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing. Just want to say.
She will say, Katara, this curse that you have found, it is something of other lands, something divine in nature. You will not be able to maintain godhood so long as this curse lays upon you.
Mm.
And may I also suggest, this relationship you have built with Nyx, I would recommend coming to understand it before drinking the ambrosia, or it may remain with you forever, much like good Dionysus. For he has been insane as long as he has had divinity. And I would hate that for you, my dear. Insanity has its draws for some times, but not something I think anyone wants to have forever and ever.
Well, do you think I could travel there to speak with her with this curse? Or would I have to reach out like I did before?
To speak with Hecate, to speak with Nyx.
You said I have to come to terms with it. Do I have to
She
speak with her?
will approach you, and as she does so, her three forms shrink, and the maiden, the woman, and the old crone will all put their hand on your shoulders, and will look at you and say, by no means, Katara, will the solution come from visiting upon the god of darkness. Nyx is a dangerous entity, one that will mean the unraveling of you. No, I would bid you not contact her again, Katara. Do not try, for it is too dangerous, and I would not wish such dangers upon my only daughter. Allow Silenos to be the agent of shadow, but for you, I would wish a less self-destructive path. If you wish to deal with this madness, perhaps you should speak to one as mad as well, or simply try and snip it the old-fashioned way.
Did we see Dionysus back, or was he taken?
He's back.
Okay, great. Go talk to the crazy person. Great.
Goes, oh, Katara, don't you know by now? Madness, people who are crazy, are just people who know something that we don't.
It's true.
Some might say that the mad people are wiser than any of us.
Also true.
So, you must defeat your own darkness one way or another, Katara. You must slay it. You must confront it. And only then can you banish it. Or if you cast greater restoration, that's also another way. Goodbye!
I thought we tried that.
Oh, you already tried that? How did
No,
you
we did.
How did you get...
No, she cast it on me and it didn't cure it all.
No. How did you get cursed with this in the first place after the madness?
So, because I was stupid and I was like, well, let's see if Nyx will want to help us.
Oh,
right. And it was the worst roll I could possibly roll on the contact other plane / contact, deity. So it was I contacted her, but in apparently a rude way. So she made me crazy. And then Hecate cured me, but then said that there was she could only do so much. So I stopped screaming. That was what.
Right. So she'll say to you, the answer does not lie further in darkness, Katara. If you wish to disband yourself of this madness, you must confront it. You must kill your own demons. You must slay the darkness.
Oh, I understand now. I suppose I should go where I won't hurt anybody else. Don't want the cows.
Yes, they get quite angry when people shoot at them. Such as, that guy. And she'll point to some like old, long forgotten demigod who's like casting magic and he's just like been petrified. He's just been standing in your mother's garden since for as long as you can remember.
I remember him. He was me.
Yes, I sometimes like to imagine what his name must be. I could always ask Hades, but it's more fun to imagine.
That's true. Well, while I do this, so I'm gonna basically show her the vial of dragon blood that I collected. Because basically so if Silenos is going for the chthonic root Nix, I'm just gonna see while I do a stupid thing, I'm gonna see if she has any advice on where to go. Like I have some direction, but if she's got any shortcuts for the Stardust alleviation catalyst or the timeless liquid Chronos now that I have that blood.
Could you send me those two phases in like Facebook or something? No, let you know.
I'll screenshot it because it's in my other note. Hang on. And yeah, then I'm gonna go find a spot where there's no one else around to do something stupid because I think I have an idea.
Got it.
I hope I make it, guys.
And she'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait on that for a minute. What you're sending here.
Let me snip it. Oh, actually, let me get all of the side notes in there. Okay. I just sent it over Facebook because it's a picture. It's the last two ones there.
All
And
right.
I have some notes on the side of like some guidance, but I'm wondering if she has any cheats.
Nice.
I swear to God, when I read Derek's message in the chat, I swear to God, I read it like, I hope you die, Chelsea. It's like, what the fuck?
Okay, so Katara, Hecate will say, "Oh, how interesting. I actually came into possession rather recently from my good friend Hades, the water drawn from the river of time, distilled, as you might say.
Yay.
I took it from the corpse of that woman you all killed."
Oh yes, I was going to talk to her, so I'm glad.
And she'll go back to her hut and return later with this flask of water that sort of swishes one way and then sort of stops, and time sort of reverses inside the vial and then kind of slushes in another direction. But yes, it seems to be river water drawn from the river of time, distilled into the guidance of Kronos.
Woo.
She says, "I do know that there's many ancient hourglasses out there. I do not have any in my possession, at least none that have such symbology, or it wouldn't matter about the symbology." She says, "I could look into ancient hourglasses, but that's something I think you could find. Katara, you have friends that are gods now. Well, I'm sure you could find an old hourglass. As for the Stardust alleviation catalyst, you can always go visit Morpheus. I'm sure he could help you with the second portion. As for the Stardust, well, it's too bad that you just sent two titans down to Tartarus that have to do with constellations. Perhaps Artemis might be able to help, being a goddess of the moon. But then again, so am I. When would you like for there to be a meteor shower, I wonder?
I mean, ideally when I'm there.
Then keep your eyes on the night sky, Katara. For though Artemis owns the moon, so do I in my own way.
Thank you. And she'll hug her mom.
Yeah, and your moms will hug you to say, goodbye, Katara. Good luck killing your demons and making your potions and ascending to godhood. I hope next time I see you, you'll have divine blood in your veins.
So do I. Okay. And yeah, she's gonna kind of wander to a place that's away from the house.
Yep. Into the hellscape you go.
Yep. And then when she feels like she's at a spot where, there's nothing else around, she's gonna say, well, I did it once. And then she's gonna break the coin that she has.
Oh my god, why?
Because that was the whole thing. It's like fighting the inner demons.
Okay, you're gonna summon a demon to slay, okay.
I don't know, Ryan. I'm so confused.
It was a metaphor. But
Well, she has a literal demon. Literal personal demon.
That's funny that Katara misinterprets fighting your demon as like literally summon a demon and try and murder it. That's actually hilarious.
It's on character. It really is.
It's supposed to be their own inner demons.
Yeah, let me just look up a demon for you to detail real quick. Hang on.
CR 45.
CR 50.
I mean, unless maybe she's getting a spidey sense that's really wrong, but that's 100% where I thought you go.
Well, it's too late fucking now. You said it. We're doing it.
Yeah, let's do it. It's fun.
Hang on a minute. So let me just find something for you to fight and kill real quick.
Okay.
I have wished it, so it shall be.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
While Ryan's doing that, I just want to say, I wasn't rooting for you to die, Katara. I said, I hope you don't die.
No, it's all good.
Maybe Alecia wished for that to happen.
Why would she wish that to happen? She likes Katara a lot.
Yeah, and druids don't get wish, so.
Yeah, that sucks. They don't get wish. Oh well.
Yeah. I think it's kind of on brand though, because whereas a druid is all about, nurturing nature or of all kinds, a wizard is gonna fuck around and find out a lot, so.
Okay, so I guess after this we try therapy.
Yeah.
That was the answer all along. But not really, because it never works. I'm just kidding.
Is that what they tell you in the army?
No, but my alcoholic, cirrhosis of the liver father, he, beat me and said, yeah, therapy's for, not masculine men. And I was like, oh.
You're like, true, father. Thank you.
True. I deserve this beating.
Bro, that was such a reach.
Such a.
I don't need help.
Okay, Katara, you summon forth a creature that you have seen before. Long ago, you were the first to begin this practice that your cult does. That's where you summon a demon into yourself, cast it out, denying its possession of you, and then defeating it in battle to prove yourself worthy of witchcraft and its ethical trials. This enemy you slayed long ago, many hundreds of years ago, and once more it emerges. What looks to be almost like a yellow tree made of ooze, with a large eye in the center of its head as it emerges and sort of, I am free. I am free to take my revenge in the underworld, no less. And it'll sort of splay out its arms, and as it does so, some yellow ooze will shoot off of its body, and a second one will emerge from its ooze. And I need you to roll initiative.
Oh, I fucked up.
This is the right call. What your mom meant.
You just said you said demon from within, Ryan. I feel like, come on, right?
Well, we'll find out if this affects it.
He was referring to your alcoholism.
He doesn't drink anything or eat anything.
When
What
you're
did you roll?
sober.
I rolled a 10.
A 10. They lost. You get to go first in combat.
Cool.
You're like, I'm curing my mental illness right now as you fight these demons that you've just summoned.
Speaks in Latin.
Yeah, let's well, they're close together. Can I start with the hypnotic static on them?
Sure. Intelligence saves?
Yes.
One rolls a 18. One rolls a 19.
Save. So the one that fails is got the muddled thoughts, and then the other one takes half damage.
All right.
So cast. Let's see what it rolls. All right, 18 psychic damage, I believe.
All right. 18 psychic damage. Well done. The other one will take 9. Anything else?
I think we concurred I can't do the Misty Step thing. Yeah, that doesn't work. So I'll just maybe back up a bit.
Did you roll your wild magic?
Nope, haven't done that yet. That's a good call. Oh,
Did you get one?
I rolled an 8. So
Okay, you're good. Okay, it is their turn. The one that you summoned initially says, I will not become your prize again. You shall be mine. And it is going to attempt to cast Dominate Person on you. I need a Wisdom saving throw.
okay.
This is a charm, to be clear. And you have advantage because you're fighting it.
Oh, okay. 25.
You easily save against this entity's power, but like easily so. You feel it trying to grasp onto your mind, and you sort of like it's almost a joke that this thing could think it could.
I was gonna say she lets out like the like the witch cackle or whatever.
And it's like
Exactly.
oh, fucking weird. And the second one is going to shoot some of this like yellow like ichor from its body at you, and it's going to cast web. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Onto the ground at your feet.
7.
You are tangled up in a web.
Okay.
So you're restrained.
Okay.
Your turn.
I'd like to Misty Step with my shard out of the web.
Okay. Like right next to it.
No, I'll go like 30. Can I go on the other side of them?
Like over here?
Yeah.
Sure.
And then I will Eldritch Blast.
They go, turn around and you go for it.
Okay. Okay, well, the one is probably not gonna hit. That would make that one a 12 to hit, which I don't think is gonna work, but the 27 probably does.
Probably does. Which are you? You have 4 of these.
I was gonna split them, so I'll go to the purple one first, and then we'll go to the next one after.
All right.
So just a D10. 4 damage.
4 damage.
Okay, next one.
Don't you have agonizing blast?
That's true. 9. Sorry, I forgot.
No problem.
I thought that was adding my hex, but that's different. Okay, so this would be a 25 to hit and a 29 to hit.
Those will both hit. Yeah, you hit the main one with both.
Okay, so 2 10s, so 30.
30 damage. You blast and it takes the damage pretty brutally. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I'll just back up a little bit towards the fence line a little bit. Yeah, there.
All right, back up towards the fence. They are going to move at you like such. Right up to you. Right up to you. But I will say that they're like not quite there. They got a 5 foot. They're a little short on.
Mm-hmm.
As they approach, and as they get to this space, they are going to transform. Their bodies sort of like, as they're slurping along, they're going to sort of fold in on themselves and turn themselves into giant spiders.
All right then.
All right, your turn. Now they're within your space, by the way. Like because they transform, they're now within 5 feet of you. They don't get an attack. That was their full action, but they do it.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to make a plan. Yeah, screw it. Oh. Can I again Misty Step on the other side of them? I'm just hopping around at this point.
Yeah, sure.
No, not in the fence, on the other side of them.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you just
Like basically going back that way. Yeah, and then I'm gonna do the same thing, Eldritch Blast, and back up. So they're too close to me now. So I was gonna try something else, but they're
Got it. Go for it.
Sorry, guys. I know this is real thrilling.
It's okay. Do your thing.
Okay.
Hecate's like on the other side of the fence. It's like, good job, honey. You're doing great.
Thanks, Mom. Okay.
Not exactly what I meant, but you're doing great.
Oh, okay. 26 and 23 to hit.
26 and 23 hit, no problem.
Okay, so then that becomes, where did I put them? Okay. Where did I put the other one? Oh, nope. Alright. Sorry. Where did I put my other dice? Losing my dice, guys. It's really hard to lose giant dice, but apparently I did that. Okay, so 9 and then 8 force. So 17 total.
All right, for 17 damage to the currently inflicted one.
Mm-hmm. And then last round is going to be 21 and a 23 again.
Oh yeah. Roll for Misty Step, by the way. Wild magic.
Well, I did that twice, so I'll just roll twice again. So that would be a 14 and a 13 for both of those. So I think that's fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
That's not the same as my other ones. Oh, okay, great. So for not 18 for that for the other two.
18 damage to the second one. Okay. You're blasting them full of holes to the best of your ability, but they keep coming. Is there anything else you want to do?
That's all I can do.
All right. They're going to crawl at you, but they can't fully get into range. But they're giant spiders now, so they're going to try and lock you down again. I think it's the best thing they're going to do. They're going to shoot their webs at you. Yay! That's going to be a 19 to hit.
Yeah, it hits.
All right, you are restrained in webbing.
Okay.
And then the other one is just going to dash up to you.
Okay.
And says, "We are going to eat you. Eat you. I am so hungry these last 300 years in that stupid coin." What do you do?
Can I cast Hex on the one that's got muddled thoughts?
All right.
And then I will unleash all the Eldritch Blasts on it.
All right.
Where's my spells? Take that off. Okay, so. Alright, I'm just gonna roll all 4 at once.
Or you're just shooting them full of 4s, or you give them all 4? That's great.
Yeah, I was gonna all 4 to the Hex one. So one of those is a natural 20.
Oh shit.
The other one is 25. Then we have a 18 and a 14. So
14 misses, but all the other ones hit.
okay, so I'm gonna do the 2 regulars, and then I'll do the other one after. Okay. So we have the first one. So that's 7 force plus 4 necrotic for 1. 10 force plus 3 necrotic. And then the last one, which is the crit, is 6 to 12 force. Nope. 6 to 12 plus 5. So that becomes 17. And then plus 4 necrotic. Doubled.
All right, you shoot it a whole bunch of times. It takes all of the shots and is looking... It's certainly bloodied at this point. It is certainly bloodied. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, that's my action, bonus action. I can't move.
That one in Abyssal says, "I'm fucking out of here, man. This hurts." And it's going to turn into a yellowy mist and sort of begin to fly away. And the other one says, "No, you must follow my commands." But it does not, and it just sort of flies away, or begins to anyway. And that will bring us to this guy, who is going to try and bite you in its spider form. That's going to be a 16 to hit.
Miss.
Miss. It tries to bite you, and its fangs go deep into the ground, but does not hit you. It is your turn once more.
Misty step towards the one that's running away, and 4 Eldritch Blasts again.
That guy?
Yeah, because if I kill him, then I can move it.
I guess so.
Okay, so that was garbage roll. This is a 14 and a second 14, so none of those are gonna hit. Then I have a 19 and a 16 to hit.
Those will all hit. Yeah.
They'll all hit?
Give me the totals again.
2 14s, a 19, and a 16.
Sorry, I misheard you. The 14s won't hit, but everything else will.
So that's 6 plus 5, so 11 force and 5 necrotic. And then 14 force, 6 necrotic.
Okay. That one is barely hanging on. It's got like a little bit of life left. It's like, and it's just trying to get away. Is there anything else you want to do?
I'll just walk towards it for fear.
Yeah, you like walk and like look right up at it, at this like yellowy smoke, and it's like, ugh! On their turn, it's going to float down to you and immerse you in the gas, and you're going to start coughing and retching. I need a con save.
Okay. 27.
You're fine. You're like, I don't breathe air. And it's like, the original demon is going to go, I'm out of here. And he turns himself into gas as well and starts flying away. What do you do?
Yeah, I'll attack this one. I just want to get rid of him, and then I'll see if once he's down, then I think I can switch the hex over.
Got it. He's got barely anything left in the tank, but you will have disadvantage because it's like right around you. Like it's right in front of you.
So it becomes 26 to hit with disadvantage.
You certainly hit it. Go and roll damage.
8 plus 13 force and 4 necrotic.
The yellow mist sort of like turns into like almost like a black ice. It sort of slowly falls to the ground, sort of across the ground, and then solidifies into this like ichorish liquid around your feet. And the demon just sort of turns into a puddle around your feet as you have killed a demon for the first time, truly killed one, as opposed to having banished it or destroyed its avatar.
And then I will just turn around and my head turns first and then the rest of my body turns around. And then I stalk after the other one.
It's like, no, it's been 200 years!
And I just want to I don't know, he might have been too far away for me to transfer. I don't know how the transfer works with Hex, so let me just double
It's a bonus action. When you kill the first one, you're gonna use a bonus action to transfer it.
Okay, and I could just use the same 90 feet, or is it have to be a certain distance?
No, it's the same 90 feet.
Okay, so yeah, I'll transfer it over to him,
Okay.
and then continue with the other 3 for that guy.
Got it.
Okay, so 17, 23, and 29 to hit.
17, 23, and 29 all hit.
Okay. 13 force and 3 necrotic for the first one. 15 force and 1 necrotic. And then the last one is 17, so it's 14 again. Or did I do that right? Or 12. Sorry, give him back 2 points. I think I did the math wrong on one. And then 6 necrotic.
It is pretty dang hurt. It's pretty dang hurt at this point. And on its turn, it's going to just take the dash action, just try and travel away.
Yep.
It's going fucking crazy! As it flies away.
I'll just keep chasing it, because I can...
Alright. You walk 30 feet towards it, fire off 4 more shots, or you're a fucking machine gun at this point.
21, 27, the 13 won't hit, and then the last one is 29.
The last one's a 9?
29.
29, yeah, those all hit.
14 force, 5 necrotic, 7 force, 1 necrotic, and then 8 force and 2 necrotic.
All right. You fire off your 4 shots. How do you want to kill your demons? How do you want to slay your demons? How do you want to save yourself from your insanity?
Can I want the last Eldritch Blast to go through the back of this. It's a miss now. I was gonna say through the spider eyeballs. But yeah, I'd like with the Eldritch Blast, at the end, it's almost like they linger and then at the very end, like they kind of like form into one, and then they explode out.
Fantastic. The mist sort of gets shot like all around the sides, sort of almost implodes and then blasts into a slimy mist that coats the countryside. And you have slain your demons. Check your messages.
Oh no. So I think she'll turn towards it. Yes, you've guided me, but you've also misled me. I need Silenos to help. Yes, you then told me I could trust him, but when he died, it didn't seem. You said I couldn't trust anybody. What's the truth?
Second. It says, you understand quite well, Katara. Do not trust any, but you can trust the darkness. It is consistent. It does not bend to one or the other. It simply is a tool to be used to take comfort in. And you mean to banish me from your mind? You are dark, Katara. You are a child of shade. You are a child of grief. All the things that make darkness. Silenos is not my champion. You are.
I'm sorry. To reach my full power, seems I can trust no one. Then, and she will try to cast a spell against it because I think in her mind,
Yeah.
it's power that she wants, and her mom told her this was still an obstacle to that.
All right. What do you attempt to cast on Nyx, the goddess of darkness?
I mean, if power were to kill, let's just fucking go for it.
You cast Power Word Kill on Nyx, the goddess of shadow. And Katara, you know full well that the terms of the spell, that it requires the entity to have 100 hit points or less in order to die. You, I'm sure, understand that in the hierarchy of things, a god could not be killed by a Power Word Kill off the hook. A titan is stronger than a god, and a primordial entity is vastly superior to even a titan. You, in your conscious mind, you know that if this was truly Nyx, it shouldn't be able, this wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But you cast it anyway. And perhaps somewhere in your mind, Katara, this is almost you saying, this isn't real, this isn't actually Nyx. Because if it was, she could survive this, and she won't be able to survive this. I want you to make me a wisdom saving throw as you cast Power Word Kill.
Yeah. Luck. Can I use my Can I use my little reroll thing? From my heroic bond?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so scared. Let's use the bloodstone this time. That one was shit. Not much better, but 19.
19. You cast Power Word Kill, and in this moment, it dies. You kill darkness. You kill the shadow. And it sort of seeps into the ground and disappears amongst the shadows, and it's quiet. As quiet as it has been in a long time. You recognize two things. This entity is dead, and that you're free of it. But you also recognize that it's returned to whence it came. And though that was not truly Nyx, the shadow has returned back to its greater whole, the shade that covers the entire world and wraps around your own heart. You may have killed the Nyx within your mind, but how can you kill darkness in its entirety? And you might even ask yourself, have I offended Nyx? Have I offended the shadow by casting it away, even in madness? We will see. Silenos, roll initiative. No, not actually. You're good. No, you're good.
Yeah, that's all right. 34.
So, an arrow shoots you in the chest, Katara, and you die. No, that's not what happens.
There's the brain.
Why did I think you were gonna say she was going like this?
Yeah, you thought she was targeting you, didn't you?
That's what I was afraid of. I was like, oh god, no.
Oh,
The
you thought
reflection of
Katara was
herself. I thought you
killed
were.
herself.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were like alluding to. That was crazy.
And that was fucking spooky. You know what? Let's go to a slightly early break. It is 9:26. We're at a nice little break point, and when we return, we will see what Silenos is up to across the underworld. Silenos, as you may recall, it takes time to travel from one domain to the next. But you know, don't worry about that. You are going to, as you travel. Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Maybe a flying godly doe would help a little bit because it's like a godly plane, so maybe it's even faster.
Yeah. So you hop astride your doe, and you'll travel probably for some hours, admittedly. Like, you'll probably travel for a little while as you go, but in the end, you will approach that black, misty, dark place. These lands of Nyx, a domain of pure shadow that no god has even dared to tread, not even Hades, who possesses this realm. This land infected with the power of Nyx, as pure as it ever could be. You land upon its shore. Whether willingly or not, your doe lands at the shoreline and just kind of like, and sort of.
Yeah, I would imagine it wouldn't. I would like put my head to it. Thank you. I don't need you here. Just rest. And I give it like a carrot as I like collapse it back into the figurine.
All right, it takes the carrot halfway, and then it collapses in the figurine. The carrot hits the ground too.
Oh no!
And it's in the figurine going, damn it! You can feed it later. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, you hop off of it and you make your way toward the land of Nyx, which I will post the image of it in the Roll20 if anyone. Just, I don't know, a little aesthetic thing. It doesn't really matter too much.
A random question. Since
Yeah.
having true sight, does it look/feel any different, kind of with my vision of Nyx, as opposed to last time where I was just purely closing my eyes?
It looks and feels. Actually, this is very interesting. One of the powers of true sight is that you can see the true form of things, of creatures and entities. And as you look upon this, like the darkness itself, and I think all of you who have gained this true, or actually it's just you, Silenos, as you've wandered around with your true sight, you have like looked at the darkness, the sunshine, the earth, and as you have seen the world, you have seen that these things are the gods. You look at the ground and you see Gaia. You look at the darkness, you see Nyx. You look at the ocean, and you see all of these primordial entities all around you. As you approach this land, it isn't a conglomeration of the many primordials coming together. It is but Nyx. It is purely Nyx.
100% darkness.
100% darkness. And as you step into this land of shade, there's a little bit of Eberroth there, who is the primordial entity of the underworld. But it's like he's barely there. He's heavily shrouded, and there's nothing else. There's no air. There's no sunlight. It's just darkness.
Okay. As I'm coming in, can I just maybe as I reach that point that is pure darkness, can I just grab that branch from Katara's thing?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it like would kind of flow in here naturally, or like how that works, or even make a perception check for the like this garden that I was hearing about.
Yeah, you want to try and find the garden. Go ahead and roll me a what do you roll me? Roll me a perception or survival check to track it down.
It's gonna be a 22
22!
perception, if that matters.
Apps 22 doesn't matter. You are going to track your way into the deep darkness. You are going... Am I not screen sharing? I'm not screen sharing. God fucking damn it. Why does nobody tell me these things? Oh my god. It's not my fault. It's your fault. No.
It's okay. My monitor was off. It was the same thing. It's looking at a black screen.
It's all good. Okay. You travel inward, and you go to try and find this garden, and it is still a garden made of pure shadow. Your true sight tells you that you are seeing Nix right now. You're seeing darkness. And hang on. And as you get there, you see almost like darkness manifest into trees. They're of course like dark spined, leafless trees, but they are trees nonetheless. But your sight also picks up something else. There are creatures here, to your surprise, moving, living things in the darkness, especially around this garden. They sort of move here and there in strange, not like normal way, like they're not just like people. They move languidly, strangely, their bodies are malformed. Do you approach?
Yeah, I would. I would just silently approach.
You approach, and
I wouldn't touch, but I would just get like kind of close and observe.
Observe. As you get close,
yeah, I can be known.
Yeah, one of these creatures sort of like turns around, and this person is super like malformed skinny, like hasn't ate in like 2 months. You can see their rib cage, but the ends of their arms are these like long razor blade spikes. And as it looks at you, its eyes are just like shrunken into its head and yellow, and it turns in your direction and goes, "I've been so lonely." and it charges you, arms outstretched like it wants to hold and draw you close, like it needs to be acknowledged by another person that it's been so lonely here. And it charges you with these spined razor blade arms. What do you do?
Backflip. I'm a monk with some crazy jump distance, so I'm just gonna like bound off of like darkness and leap backwards.
Yeah, you bound backwards. It certainly can't keep up with you, but it charges you with all of its dashing speed. It's only 30, right?
Yeah.
And it runs at you screaming, crying, desperate, like a child lost in the woods who's trying to like get to their mother. What do you continue to sort of bounce backward? It does not seem to want to.
No, as it gets to the end of its distance, Silenos' back hoof will land from doing like a flip. He'll like catch the ground, and then he'll lean forward, and he's gonna do some unarmed strikes, and he's gonna go for some stuns on it.
Go for it.
It's gonna be a 22 to hit.
Yeah, I'll hit.
Do a stunning strike. Con
Okay.
save DC 20.
Wisdom, right? Or no, con. Yeah, that's right. As it tries to reach its arm, as it gets into your range, and you're like waiting for that perfect moment, it tries to bring its arms like around you, and as those large, like, to be clear, it has like multiple sets of arms.
Mm-hmm.
As they're closing around you, you bring your fist up and just like crack it like right in the throat, and it and is stunned and just kind of like and it's like doesn't swing its arms around or anything, but definitely is like definitely stunned for sure.
No problem. So to be clear, am I like in a garden right now? Like this is an inhabitant of this place?
You've bounded away from it at this point and away from the other humanoid-like creatures there. But
Could I
this one
beat
sort of
the
chased you around.
extract out of this being?
Sorry?
Could I beat the extract out of this being?
You
I
just
need
want to beat it
extract.
to a fucking pulp?
I mean, I need extract from Echnita's garden. Can I? I'd say that blood of this being is probably extract.
That's very fair. What ensues is I guess
And I will I'll just say one thing. As I land and do that stunning strike, I'll do for the first time using those wraps of blood, I'll do a ravenous strike. So kind of necrosis energy will flow through the gauntlets or the wraps, and then just kind of dissipate.
Got it. As you punch it and you're doing like we don't need to worry about the combat because you outmatch it easily. Yeah, you will notice that as you punch it, no matter like the magic that you have in your fists or in your weapons, the darkness seems to protect it, as if these are like things that Nix is protecting, almost with darkness itself. And you punch it, you stun it. It's unable to like continue to fight you. It's unable to actually get its arms around you. And in the end, you beat it to a bloody pulp, and it is laying on the ground going until you just beat it until it is properly dead, and the body begins to sort of ooze out into like almost like a liquid darkness that you can.
Yeah, he'll just scoop up a vial of it, put a little cork on it.
The entity sort of vanishes, becomes this like blackness, and dissipates. Or it doesn't dissipate, it just like becomes this like liquid blackness that just sort of spews across the ground. And from the middle of that, you see one of those like crooked black trees begin to grow.
Mm. Damn. Yeah, okay. So I guess that's handled. Silenos is going to try to find the place that he went to first, the darkest center of Nyx.
All right. The last time you did this, you closed your eyes, but you have already closed your eyes. You've closed them forever by the end of a blade. And you walk into the darkness, and you find maybe a survival check. I'll give you advantage for this one because you've been here before. You know the steps.
That's good. Wouldn't have been as good. 21.
21. No, not much time at all. Only a couple of minutes of walking, maybe like 10 to 20 minutes. But you come upon once more this small cylindrical structure that maybe was made by godly hands or the servants of gods, perhaps, but certainly not by Nyx. This was something that was created in reverence to her. This place that you have been to before, and it's intense. Nyx, like, you know, people have painted Nyx and tried to depict her much like a god, but there is no manifestation of her. She just is the essence of things. But if there was ever a place that is her purest manifestation, you feel through your true sight that she lays within.
Yeah, I think Silenos knows at this point he doesn't have to say anything. Nyx is all-knowing, all-understanding, so he's just gonna think his intentions. He won't even, actually, that even is a point. He won't say anything in this space. He won't make noise. He's a monk who walks silently. So he will just kind of think of darkness, but of the kind of light that that binds people together in darkness rather than the darkness that obscures. Silenos begins to ponder the light in companionship. And as he does this, he's thinking he's gonna just pull off his veil of shadow and just kind of dissipate it out into the room.
Okay. You go into this place, you're contemplative of light and of darkness. You take off your bandage and walk into this place. You only think it, but what is the intention you put forth? Why are you here? What is it that you hope to attain?
This is merely an act of respect and acknowledgement. Silenos knows what he knows. He is faithful to the darkness. He has seen all that he can see. But from this point on, his path lies in light, in companionship. So he means to respect and acknowledge the boons that Nix gave to Silenos when he needed it, but he doesn't know if he can accept it any longer.
You go into this place much like when a nobleman comes to the state of a great king, goes forth to acknowledge them in respect. You do so. You go forth to acknowledge this entity of Nix, and you respect her. You come here in respect of her power and her knowledge, but you admit that you can't let go of your friends. You can't let go of the kindness there, and you can't let go of the divinity in your own blood, and that you have to turn away, and you have to stick with your friends. As you are sitting there immersed in darkness, meditating on these thoughts, these ideas that you must turn back from the darkness, that you mean to go to the light. You've been told many times that darkness has no consciousness. It does not have it does not have feelings. It does not...
Sentience.
Yeah, exactly. It does not have sentience. It is simply is what it is. But that does not mean that it does not have a will. For if darkness was just that, just darkness, then why would it have a name? Names have power. And you have given it power by believing in it, confronting it, giving it form. And in your mind, you see a form you have seen only once before, vaguely in a glimpse of a vision. You see this beautiful raven-haired woman, adorned in, much like the gods are adorned in these like white sheen, like cloths. She is adorned in a very translucent, long linen, silky, like black fabric, as if she's veiled in shadow, but still underneath it is her pale, white, perfect, beautiful skin, like a goddess herself. And she looks at you with deep black eyes, this beautiful dark woman. She does not say anything. She does not make a sound as she steps forward. But you feel her take your hand as if she were real. This is all in your mind, but you can almost feel it in your actual physical hand during this meditation. You can almost feel it as in this sort of vision, she takes your hand and she puts her hand on top of yours and she lips your name. And at once, for whatever reason, you open your eyes. Like, you didn't even really mean to, but you do. Maybe she made you do it, you don't know. But you open your minds and you feel the hand she had touched is heavier now. You look into it. There is a single, perfectly circular, matte black ball of some kind. Maybe it's a gemstone, maybe it's it almost, by the weight of it, it feels like maybe a metal of some kind. But it is a perfectly circular black ball that sits perfectly formed in the palm of your hands.
Sorry. It's like a item, or it's like a coin.
It's like a ball. It is a tiny ball, no bigger than like a marble, almost. But it is like matte black and heavier than you would expect, like lead. It's almost like you're carrying a ball of lead, and you just have it sitting there in the palm of your hands, like a little marble, a marble of like pure solid shadow.
What do you ask of me? It's in my hand. I don't know. Bro, look at it closer.
What you see next, you expect, is quite important. You see a purple light, a faint glowing purple light. You smell almost perfume, lavender smells, like a perfume, just very pleasing to the scent, and this glowing purple color. And you see this black ball fall into the color, and as it hits the color, it consumes it. That's all you see.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw the black ball away.
Okay. You throw the black ball away.
As I see it take that radiance, and consume it, and then that purple, that beauty, that light. This is Silenos. He'll throw it away.
You throw it away. Oh boy, buddy. Toss it away, discard this gift that you've been granted. As it hits the darkness, like, you throw it away, you can't see it, it's gone. And then, right into where you threw it, you feel this vacuum, this pull, this ripping feeling. And as much as it feels like something is being pulled from you, you feel you are being pushed as well. And the cloak of shadow on your back, that pure essence of shade, is ripped into shreds as you are thrust back and away through the air like a rag doll until you are thrown from the lands of Nix. And you sort of, your body almost, with the amount of speed that you picked up, your body skips across the water and lands on the other side of the beach. Hard. You are going to take... You know what? That's going to take a while. We're going to just do it over here.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
You're going to take 63 points of bludgeoning damage. And 60 points of necrotic damage. As you are thrust from this place, you feel all that darkness, all that shadow that you have been safe from all this time begins to eat at your body, almost like ripping and clawing and scooping at your flesh as if tendrils of black were coming for you, but you are thrust from the place before it could destroy your form. And you skip across the water, adding to the bludgeoning damage, and land on the other side of the river.
No problem. Just to confirm, it was 63 necrotic damage on the second one, just because I do have necrotic resistance. So I believe it would be
63.
half.
Yeah, so 63 bludgeoning and 60
Oh, okay.
necrotic. So that 60 will become 30.
Okay, perfect. 30. No problem. Yeah.
And as you stand up, my friend,
Mhm.
you are blind as a bat. You cannot see.
What?
So this is something that Silenos also knew would happen. Yeah. Okay. I obviously don't have the cloak on. This is something I wanted to say.
Yeah.
When I was saying I took off my cloak, or I think you might have said I thought I took off my blindfold. I was saying I took off my invisibility cloak and like got rid of it in respect, being like, thank you for these gifts. I'm leaving that. But anyway, doesn't matter. She gave me something else, and I was like, shh. So anyway,
Yeah, you
Point-
still
point
got
got across.
everything. Yeah, you still got everything. But these gifts you've been given by Nyx herself, the cloak of invisibility, the eyes of shadow, or the sea
And
of darkness,
shadow
excuse
touch.
me. Those things are gone,
Yeah, no
and those
problem.
will be gone from your inventory.
No worries. I will.
Your monk levels remain. Your monk levels are fine, and your ability to use those are totally fine. But
Yeah, just the
that-
gifts from.
those two
Got
gifts
it.
are yeah.
Got it. Yeah, no problem. I will. I'm gonna lean back on what I know. I'm gonna summon Perseus.
Okay. It has been some time since you have relied on the power of the wild, of the hunt. You have been. Maybe in this moment you realize that when you became a gloomstalker, you began to sort of turn your back on the hunt a little bit. Not entirely. You still used the bow, you fought great enemies, but that basic hunt of nature that Artemis has passion for. She's a goddess. She can hunt whatever she wants, but she hunts deer and wolves. And you call back on that, and from that ethereal power, you bear the tooth and, or the talon at this point, I believe. And you feel Perseus's mighty claws gripping your shoulder, and the beaked head sort of comb across the side of your head affectionately.
Yeah, I'll just. Hey, buddy, and I'll actually like just scoop him off because like birds, when you're friendly, they'll like just go limp. They'll let you do whatever. So he'll like just grab him off and actually hug him close. And like fall down to his knees on the beach. And he will cry probably for a good while. And then he will take out the tooth of the jaguar as well, his other animal that has helped him in times. And he will get on the back of the jaguar, and he will ask Perseus to try and lead us somewhere with people.
All right. My, what a change for Silenos. What an unexpected pathway has been taken. Oh, I thought you were. Oh, I had such plans for you. Such plans for what you were going to become.
Yo,
Throw it back at me,
gods were. You should have just kept being an asshole with your gods, and I was gonna.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh man, it's all good. It's all good. Okay. Katara, what do you do once you're done with your stuff? You head back to, or begin to make your way to the Palace of Darkness?
I mean, I think she would have waited, like tried to wait for Silenos. She didn't want to be like, go into the lands and,
Yeah.
So
To be clear, Silenos only got there so quickly because he had the dough. It's like on the other side of the underworld, which is very far.
right.
And Silenos only, like, and time works funny around here. So for all you know, Katara, you waiting for Silenos could take years.
It's true.
Yeah.
Only I had given him a tooth.
Totally I can see. You do have the power to plane shift. If you wished, you could use that to find your way to Hades' palace, because all of these different sections of the underworld are considered.
Yeah. So, yeah, if because he would have gone to a different plane, and I mean, she trusts her mom and that he's going the path that he's supposed to. So sure. She'll shift she'll plane shift over to the palace.
All right. You find your way back to Hades' palace. I guess my question to you is, to you guys who are having tea with Persephone, is that something that you guys want to play into a little bit, or do we want to, and maybe we play into that when Katara arrives, but what are you feeling there? I don't want to deprive you guys of any RP you'd like to have.
I don't know if I would ask Persephone or or just you. How long does it take for a god to get down to Tartarus if they wanted to?
Same time as a mortal, unless you have good connections, like Hades, for example.
Okay.
Takes a long time.
Got it.
Gods can... it depends on your domain, right? Like, some gods can... Like, Hermes could get there a lot faster, but you and Thalia would you know, it would still take you a long time.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty much it.
Fair enough.
We don't have to talk about the whole god stuff. That's like filler episodes shit.
Yeah, so... Yeah, and to be clear, like, gods are a type of creature, like elves. So what you've become is like a race of creatures, right? And they're all kind of the same, but different. So think of it like you've become an elf, and then there's different sub-races of elves, where there's like slightly different here and there. What really distinguishes God from God is the possessions they have. Their tridents, their bolts of lightning, their this and that, whatever classes they might have acquired, magics they might have learned. So, like, a newborn god is just a newborn god and then has like a couple of extra special things, right? But
Yeah.
much like any Goliath coming into the game, they might become different because they take different classes and gain different magic items. Works very much the same for gods. They're much more powerful than mortals, but it's the same concept. You gain power through personal knowledge, combat experience, exploration into magics. Worshippers are huge. The amount of worshippers you have can help you grow. But it's not too dissimilar. That's a lot of gods are generally the same, but different in different ways.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
I'm
So even
curious
Zeus
then.
sort of started out the way you did.
Yeah. I'm curious then. What if you were to make a homebrew god race?
Well, no. Because that would take like, there are things that like all gods can do, and like we'll play into them in the moment. Like I said, you got to discover your things, but like, let me make an example. Make a religion check, Ouroboros, as you try and think of like a common power that you've heard a lot of gods have in mythology.
Okay. 23. I need to use my new dice tray.
23. You recall that there are many legends about many different gods turning people into things, whether it be a beast or a tree. Artemis has done it. Zeus has certainly done it. Like many different. Athena did it famously to Arachne. You recall a lot of gods have the power of true polymorph, to true polymorph mortals into things. Maybe you might want to try it on a mortal sometime. Who knows?
Interesting.
But your powers, some of them are going to be defined in your sheet. Others are going to need to be discovered.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. It's gonna. You're learning to walk, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. So you sit around, and eventually Katara will show up. Or actually, I should roll for it. No, yeah. So after about 5 hours of sitting around with Persephone, drinking tea, having some food, reading some books, Katara arrives. Katara, your experience was much different. You arrived. It took you 24 hours to get here. You slept at one point, so you have a long rest if you need.
Sweet.
But Katara arrives in the palace of Hades. Persephone sort of welcomes you in as like a number of the Narzugon devilish knights sort of walk you in, and Persephone says, "Oh, welcome."
Sorry, I had to pay a visit to my mother before I
Of
came back.
course, of course, of course. Well, please join us. We were just speaking of whatever we were speaking about. We were speaking about this book we were reading of like some dudes who died, and we're gonna say at this point, Silenos, it has been 2 days since your encounter with the lands of Nix. It took a couple hours to travel in. You were rejected from it. You traveled for some hours more, slept. Traveled for a full day, slept. Traveled for many more hours, another 8 hours. And in this moment, a very sort of, with a jaguar at his side and this hawk on his shoulder, very like Aragorn into like the halls of Helm Deep, sort of opens the doors and enters, blinded and not looking as confident as before, but more like.
I was gonna say very. This is a bad combination because now Silenos is blind with the alert feat, so he's just anxious as fuck. He comes in jittery. He like his bird is on his like shoulder, probably like close, like bracing his head up as he walks with his arm on his jaguar.
It even has his wing around your head, like a little bit, just kind of like there.
Yeah, so he comes in, he's just kind of shaking a little bit, but he does know as friends smell because he is a ranger. So
You have made it to these doors, and you
yeah.
open the doors, and you see this tremendously shaky, anxious, and as blind as he's ever looked. Even since the moment he was blind, he looked confident, but now he looks crippled.
Silenos, are y'all good, man?
Yeah, with you guys, I will be. I need to get back to Olympus, speak with Artemis, and
What's the quickest way back to Olympus?
From whence we came. Nah, but seriously, man, what happened?
Insight check.
On what?
Silenos.
Ouroboros doesn't care. He's not really asking.
What about him, Alecia?
here you go. I'll give you something to insight. She. I made the choice, and it's for life, but it's
Joined a gang.
Shut up.
Yo, I'm actually gonna kick you from this campaign. I don't have that authority, but I'm gonna.
I'm sorry.
No, I just these are just the consequences of powers accepted. This is my doing. It'll be okay. I feel a lot more like me, a lot more bright. And he'll
That's
walk
good.
over to someone. He'll like feel his way over, and then he'll just brace on someone's.
You're in a wheelchair now?
And okay, Ouroboros, cut it out. And the person that you find is Thalia. You put your hand out and you feel that sort of familiar tingling sensation when you feel like her shoulder in your hand. You know that you've found Dahlia.
Yeah, here immediately.
And Thalia will pull Silenos close and whisper, can I try to heal you? I don't know if it'll be strong.
Yeah. Maybe just a hug. Your Grace.
And she will give him the best damn hug that she can. Like,
Make a performance check for how good this hug is.
17.
If you want to use magical guidance, that wasn't the best hug you've ever given.
Okay,
Aw.
I'd love to use magical guidance. See if I can give a better hug.
Roll for comfort.
5.
There you go.
Amazing.
25. Oh, well, you had advantage anyway, because that's what I
Oh,
stuff.
because we're touching.
Yeah. So she gives you the most loving, caring, compassionate hug of your life. You feel sort of the tingling warmth sensation, but it's not like exciting in this moment. It's very almost like just like the warmth and comfort of like, it reminds you of when your mother hugged you when you were a child, and it's
Yeah, the
everything
warmth
to feel
of
safety and
a hug
comfort.
with friends or sitting around a fire with people. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Silenus is feeling that a lot more. And he'll just say, I just, maybe the gods can do something. It's, I'm sure we can figure out some way to Oceanus from Olympus, possibly.
Well, I get the sense you really went through something, Silenos, and I'm so glad you came back to us.
Persephone will speak up. She'll say, I had heard. She looks around and says, if you need to return to Olympus, my husband has already told you that he was going to help you. He goes to do it now. If you wish, I could return you to Olympus. I have my own path that I take to return. You could use it.
I'm so sorry. Thank you, Lady Persephone. But before we leave, have you heard any reports? And just before we forget about this, have you heard any reports about the Titan of Death?
Goes, no, not quite. My husband has sent some of his more discreet, devilish servants into Tartarus to see if they can spy on the demons. We suspect that's probably where he might be. It's the only place that we haven't been able to investigate because of the blood war.
Let's see.
Between the devils and the demons do not get along. The demons are the tormentors of Tartarus, and are their jailers and torturers. The devils serve my husband, and though they all pay homage to Hades, the demons do not wish to be in Tartarus, and they battle. It is very hard for devils to actually get into Tartarus.
I see.
So, yes, so he has sent some of his discreet agents to spy on the ongoings there and see if they can't track him down.
Do we all think we could go to Olympus even for a bit, or even just I can get back to you guys somehow, or?
Yeah, I think we're almost finished here.
Well, I think Hades indicated that it would take some time for him to select out the souls that he needed, and we needed to either prepare Athens or to make available sufficient remains to give the
There's one in the fridge.
spirits something to bind onto. I'm pretty certain we don't want them to show up and claw themselves out of whatever ossuary they're in, because I'm pretty certain that that will entirely freak people out.
We do need to inform the Athenians about this.
Persephone will say, I know you have your opinions of my husband that are well warranted, but if there's one thing my husband is, it is he is a man of his word. He told you he would get you the souls you need, and the souls he'll give you. And she looks around the shelves for a moment, and she'll take one off and hand it to you, Gyasi. She takes a small black obsidian-handled bell, and the bell itself is like brass inlaid with silvers, floral silver patterns. And she says, when you're ready for this to happen, and you have the sufficient corpses needed to bind to the souls, when you are near them, ring the bell with intention. And when you do, it will begin.
Yes, my lady.
You may add this silver bell to your inventory, which is most certainly a legendary item, but we don't need to go into too much description of that. It has the power to summon undead souls assigned to it by Hades, which is cool. Okay, so you have that bell, and she'll say, "Well, let's get your friend, let's get Silenos back up to Olympus then. Seems to be the first thing you need to do." And she,
May I?
sure.
I can take us there from here, if you don't mind.
I see your divinities granted you great powers, Gyasi. I certainly take no offense.
And I will draw the world key, and I will cut a hole to Olympus right here, right now.
Hell yeah. Gyasi draws that blade that he received from Gaia that names him the Watcher, and he sort of very, very intentionally points it into the air and slowly draws it down and slices a hole through the planes themselves and opens a gate, a rift in space. And you may all walk through it and return to Olympus instantaneously, if that is your choice.
What is that? It looks cool. As I'm leaving, I bow and say thank you, Lady Persephone, and give my thanks again to your husband.
And she will smile at you and say, it was interesting to meet you, Arctur Alecia. With that, you step through. Gyasi, you can be somewhat specific about this. Was there anywhere in specific you wanted to go on Olympus?
To the Temple of Artemis.
Fair enough. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong place, but we're gonna get there. You step through the portal and immediately find yourself in front of the temple home of Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. You step through and find yourself there, Silenos, back in this place of light and divinity. You feel the wind on your face. You feel it, and there was a pause for a moment, but eventually all the rest of you will see. Silenos will only hear. Tearing through the sky, a chariot with 3 golden does strung to it in the front tears through the sky in the direction of all of you and lands abruptly into the ground. And Artemis jumps from the back of it and runs to Silenos and grabs him up into her arms. And she will sort of just kind of hug you tight and say, "Are you okay, Silenos? I knew something happened, but I did not know what." And she kind of pulls back from you. You can feel her gaze on you, like looking you over.
I just made a choice for the light, even if it means I may never see it.
She nods and she says,
I am loyal to Olympus and to you forever, Mother. For the hunt.
She nods, and you don't see it. You probably feel it potently, but the rest of you definitely see Artemis smile brightly, happily so. And we're in front of the wrong temple. And she hugs you again, and she says, "Thank you, my son. Thank you. You've made the right choice, I think. I know it was a hard one, but it was the right choice. Do you wish to do this blinded? Do you wish to... I have no doubt that my father would grant you the immortality he offered you. Do you wish to accept it now as you are, or would you wish to regain your eyes first? You will see once again, much like Nemesis, if you become a god like this. But not with eyes."
I had no need for them then. I don't think they would serve me as well now. As long as I'm still able to hunt in your name and bring glory to Olympus.
She
I'll watch
says,
over.
"No, Silenos. You'll hunt no longer for me. You'll hunt for you. You are more than a follower now. You will be more than a follower now. Come on, let's go." And she will look at Ouroboros and Thalia pointedly and say, "Come." And look to the rest of you and say, "Thank you. Thank you, all of you, but I hope you understand this is something to be shared by gods."
And before I go, I'll say, Katara?
Yes.
I got these here. I don't think there will ever be another chance, so, just get it right. I know you can.
I'm sure
And he'll
my
hand over both the vial and that, like, twisted log.
and I think she'll just, as she takes it, she'll just say, "I'm sure my mother is still impressed with me." Always interesting
you.
to me.
Again, and Silenos will actually take Katara's embrace and give her a hug. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah. No, that's
and
fine. That's fine.
the one tentacle, because she has a tentacle arm, like she
Yeah.
she does not
and
know
then,
how
yeah.
to hug.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, this tentacle arm like wraps around your body like 2 times.
Oh, okay. This feels really great. Where do we go?
This feels great. Now let me go. Incredible. Katara, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you need left for this potion? You need the hourglass.
I need the hourglass, the stardust, and then I need to talk to Morpheus. So there's 3 things left. I have a bunch of stuff, so I can now make the components for 2 of them, but I'm still missing parts of the last 2 on that list.
Got it. As those recognized gods amongst you get astride Artemis' chariot and ride up to the top of Mount Olympus, Katara, would you go to try and seek out Morpheus?
Yeah, I think she's walked that temple. It was the first time I think she's ever slept. So she'll like look to the group and just say, "I'm almost done, but I have some other things I need to get." And I'll take a fingernail and give it to somebody. I'll give it to Alecia.
Do you do this much?
Well, once a day. If I need to get in touch, I'll message.
I see. She puts it in her pocket. Will you need any more help?
I don't think so. Not for this one. But keep an eye on the stars for the meteors.
Wait, what meteors?
I don't know, I was told they'd be here soon.
By who?
By my mother.
Oh, I didn't know she had control over the stars. Huh.
Goddess of the night of souls. She just told me to keep a lookout.
I suppose so. I'll keep this here with me. Thank you for the fingernail.
I gave you my best fingernail.
I'm honored.
Your best friend.
Well, I'm honored.
I give you incense. I give you a candle. I give you a $100 bill. I give you my best fingernail. I give you. Wait, what?
Or that way.
And while Katara is doing that,
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go see Hephaestus.
Okay. You're gonna go see Hephaestus, no problem. Anyone else going anywhere? Just so I'm getting all the tasks in
If that, if are all the gods going to be meeting for this big meeting, or
The gods will be meeting for the ascension of Silenos, yes. This is a ceremony shared by the divines.
okay, okay, well, after Eric does this thing, I'm going to try and find Athena.
Okay, you're gonna have a hard time finding her for the next little while.
Okay.
But you can definitely go look. Ouroboros and Thalia are going into the ceremony. Silenos is going there as well. Katara is going to complete her potion. Gyasi is going to... I've already forgotten. Where are you going?
Hephaestus.
Hephaestus, that's right. We got Hephaestus, and then we got Athena. So same thing for you, Gyasi. His attendance would be expected.
Well, actually, I'm happy to talk to his adjutants.
Okay,
I actually don't need Hephaestus himself.
Got it. Fair enough. Okay, we're gonna get all this done. Absolutely. So, Katara, we're gonna start with you. You come to this temple, and you, ever since you've been dead for a while. You've been like undead for a while, and you haven't had to sleep or eat or hunger, and you contemplate this potion that you sought to gain so long ago that would grant you great power. Maybe your time as someone who is dead is coming to an end as you reach the near end of its completion of this potion. You might become mortal once more and lose this deathliness that you have, and maybe retain something of what you once were, and certainly the power that you sought before. And maybe you contemplate these things on this way as you contemplate the idea of sleeping, which you don't do very often, which is a very mortal thing to do. But beyond that is the possibility of ascension, much like the rest of your friends are seemingly achieving. And you approach this temple where the top of the temple just sort of floats errantly as if sort of disincorporating into a great and magnificent world beyond sight. And you lay yourself down on the ground, your head in the grass, and you're like, well, I haven't done this in a while. I don't know how I'm going to... because though you haven't slept in a long time, that does not mean you're not tired. And you will very quickly find yourself succumbing to rest. And you will find yourself amongst the Aniri. Here in the great strange world of Morpheus and his not bedfellows, but his companions, you awaken and emerge, and they stand before you, and Morpheus says, "Child of Hecate, welcome to the land of dreams. How pure are we? How separate are we from the goings-on, as are you? You come seeking something for your completion. What is it?"
I seek the essence of dreams.
The essence of dreams.
Yeah.
What would I give you? What would you give me for such a thing? A pure, essence of what I am, of what we all are here.
Inventory. I don't think there's anything.
As you're rummaging through your bag, trying to find something cool to give Morpheus, he says, no. No. Not what I mean. I ask you, Seeker, as you seek the essence of dreams, I would ask, what would that be? What is the essence of dreams? What is the point of them? What does one gain from a dream? What is its essence? What is it in its most purest form?
Infinity. Infinite possibility.
Possibility. Huh. He sort of thinks to himself thoughtfully and he says, the mind of mortals. How perfect. He kneels before you, presents his hand, and inside of it you see an infinite loop, the infinity sign, and it is a single star looping around and says, you are right. Dreams are possibilities, and more so than that, infinite possibilities, and the hope, possibly, to follow them. And he bestows upon you this symbol of infinity, this star that twists in that infinite symbol. He says, go then, and let us see if your dreams come true. You will awake.
She'll give a nod as she goes.
You give a nod as you go. And as you give that nod and go and arrive back on the mortal plane, you'll arrive some time has gone by.
Oh.
The stars are out, but more than that, the stars are gliding across the sky. A meteor shower, as foretold. And there might be a reason for this, and we're going to go find out that reason from Silenos. Meanwhile, on the top of the mountain, Silenos, you find yourself, you're a little distressed, you've been through quite a bit these past couple days with your this passion of yours being dragged from you and being left to be crippled, essentially. You've relied on your eyes so intensely and given them in good faith to a god, and now they've been stripped from you as you turned your back on her. You wait out here in the gardens for the ambrosia to be prepared, as some of it was taken unwillfully. And as you wait out here, it will come to an end quite quick. You're given this time to contemplate. And the gods will come out to the garden here. They will not stay in the hall. I'm not gonna move them all. It'll take so long. It'll take a very long time. But all of the gods here who are present are going to travel out to the gardens, and your mother will take you sort of by the arm and say, come, Silenos. When you open your eyes for the first time, I want you to see something that I've done just for you. She takes you to what you expect is the very end of the way, and you'll hear the rumbling voice of Zeus, and he will say, is he ready, Olympus? And she'll say, yes, he is. And you feel, despite your blindness, his pureless gaze turn upon you and say, Silenos, son of Artemis, you have had a great battle within yourself from some time, light and darkness, and all who are here can see within you that you have chosen the light. And thus, I extend this offer once more to you, Silenos. I offer you what I have offered your friend, Ouroboros, Thalia. You are quite close by. In fact, probably near towards the front, as you are his closest friends in this group.
I'm grinning ear to ear, just looking at him.
He says, Silenos, I offer you this thing that cannot be taken back. Would you, Silenos, now, with your faith turned back to the light of Olympus, gain for yourself immortality, divinity, the power of gods that I offer to you for your many deeds in the name of all the good people of Greece.
I would, great king.
And step forward, Silenos, slayer, son of Artemis and champion of the hunt, and drink deep. And you will sort of find your way over blindly, and the calyx will be put in your hand. And as it's brought close to your face, you can't see Silenos, but you somehow, like in your mind's eye, you can. This smell hits your nose, and it brings forth imagery that you saw before just a couple days ago while you were in the land of Nix, presumably for the last time. As this scent of perfume and lavender hits your nose, you see in your mind's eye that glowing purple and that black bead dropping into it.
Yeah, Silenos he'll shudder and he will drink the entire calyx.
Drink the entire calyx. You drink the entire calyx, it drops to the ground, as do you, as you feel your body pull, and every cell, every blood vessel, everything inside of you rips itself apart to try and find and scrape out those bits of divinity inside of you, those things that make you demigod and not just any old satyr. And when you feel those are found and this horrible pain has latched on to those divine things in your blood, it almost pulls them from your veins is what the feeling is, and sort of wraps around them and inflates. And you feel every portion of you that was mortal dies and is replaced by something greater, something that was inside you all along. And in this moment, Silenos, you are a satyr no longer. Only in visage will you be a satyr. From henceforth, you know in your soul that you are a god. And in this moment, your blinded eyes see again. The true sight returns to you. Your eyes that you do not have do not hurt, but in your mind's eyes where the true sight comes from. And I'm going to say, put back the vision of darkness feat in your inventory. I'm going to update it for you, but essentially it's going to function without the need for dim light or darkness, and you'll just have the true sight.
Sweet.
But in this moment, as you gain these powers back and there's this sort of wash of relief, you see, the first thing you see with your divine senses is these streaks of moonlight across the sky. There is the moon in the sky, but there are these streaks of starlight. You hear Zeus's voice rumble. He says, "Rise, Silenos, under this streak-starred sky, as is fitting of a once son of Artemis, still a son of Artemis. You are now more. Rise." And if you do, he says, "Silenos, you have been through much, and I name you as I once named your mother, Slayer of Olympus. You, henceforth, shall be the god of fellowship."
Aww. I love that. That's good.
Thank you, great king. I seek to use my mother's light to watch over allies all over Greece and the land for friends. And he'll turn back to both of his now godly friends. Are the only thing that can help you in the end of the day.
You are a part of this family as you were before, Silenos, but now you have a responsibility to this family. Once the Titans have fallen, much like your friends, you will begin to learn what it means to have a purview, to have this portfolio, and begin to sort of expand it across the land, to rule over it. But for now, be as you are and take glory in it. Welcome. We are glad to have you.
And as soon as Zeus finishes talking, I'll fucking run up, pick him the fuck up, give him a big old bear hug. Like, hey, welcome to the family, son. Woo!
Yeah, he'll like jump up and you'll see he'll like look at you in your face and you'll see like a smile immediately like come to his face as he can see and appreciate yeah, just being able to see all of his friends truly in the right way. And then yeah, he will give a hug and he'll look up to the stars and yeah, celebrate.
Your mother smiles at you. You get the sense that it was she who brought the stars, being the goddess of the night sky, and smiles at you widely and hugs you also, and just looks at you beamingly with pride as your eyes expand, or not your eyes, but your mind eye expands, and you see your mother, Zeus, your friends, much like Thalia and Ouroboros already have, see that they're almost like they're not so defined in their edges anymore, that they almost sort of flow out into the rest of the world now, like they are a part of it. And so are you, now the god of fellowship. Meanwhile, we will return to the party in a second, but meanwhile, downstairs, Katara, you awaken, this infinity star sort of swirling in your hand, and you look up and see this great meteor star shower up above, and you feel the time is now to gain that essence.
Do I see any stars like falling, or are they just streaking across the sky?
Both, definitely both. This is the plane of the sky. This is
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if I can,
You want to try and catch a falling star?
yeah, I'll cast, where'd it go? Went too far. The fly thing that I can do. Where'd you go? Fly. Yeah, I'll cast fly. And oh shit. Chaos first. I'm so close.
This is definitely about to be like a Howl's Moving Castle moment where like he catches Kelsifer, and then Katara like goes flying into the sky. Let's see what happens.
41.
41. Let's see what that does to you. Alright, just whipping it out. There it is. 41. As you're, oh my god, you go up into the sky.
What happened?
And you'll see. Katara, I want you to make me like, let's call it like, you propose for me a check. What do you think your check is that you're using to catch a falling star?
I mean, I hope it's not dexterity, but that seems logical. Can I use like nature to track it? To try to track it?
Sure, let's do nature to track it. Why not?
Oh.
Okay.
To catch a falling star.
All right, I'm gonna use like this dice that seems
Very
appropriate.
Cool. Very cool.
That dice fucking hates me.
What'd you get?
Wait, it reset, right? Just the luck thing.
Oh yeah, it did. You got
Great, because that was a natural one.
Okay, but you
Okay.
reset.
So we're not gonna use that one.
Understood.
Okay, next turn. Try number 2. Well, that was a 2 for a total of 9. Oh,
Total of 9.
Yeah.
Katara, you fly through the air. You track the star. You're going to intersect it, and this beautiful, beautiful star comes sailing down. And as you like reach out for it and grab it, you have this like. And Katara, you're this dark sort of woman who's kind of like shady and likes all that stuff. You have this like truly like beautiful sort of like Studio Ghibli like really beautiful, hopeful moment as you reach out to grab this star. You feel this horrible this horrible flesh twisting feeling off of your shoulder, and this like useless twisted up mangled arm shoots out of your shoulder, and, and the shooting star blasts right through your hand, burns it off at the end of this just like fleshy flailing arm, and kills it, and you miss entirely. And you just have not even like muscle or bone, it's just like the twisted flesh of like a mounted arm coming off of your shoulder.
Oh my god.
And the hand has been burned off because it missed the star.
Oh jeez.
You just have this dangling like arm skin sleeve dangling off your shoulder now.
I don't even know if I could do anything to catch it for now.
We'll try again, roll another check.
I was gonna say, can I like throw out my familiar to see if he can, like, because he'll be at least closer to it, see if he can catch hold of it while I chase after?
Sure, he'll give you advantage. He'll remind you to use your real arm instead of this.
What about the tentacle?
Yeah, you reach out with your tentacle arm. God, this is terrible. This is such a weird flavor.
I'm gonna come back. I have a tentacle. I got a weird arm hanging out.
Oh, and
It's
you'll
all
also
good,
notice
guys,
that
right?
you'll also notice that you're beginning to smell for whatever reason too.
Oh yeah.
Like rot.
Cool. Natural 20.
Natural 20!
Nice!
The bird's just use your regular hands, all you gotta do, it's not that hard! And you catch, you don't use the tentacle arm, it's like, don't use the tentacle arm, it doesn't have a hand. And you reach out with your other hand, and with your right hand, and you grab a star out of the sky. And as you do so, you're going to feel the power of space and starlight enter into your veins, and you are going to gain, this is weird, but fitting. As you grab this, you grab it into your hand, and you are going to gain a blessing. You're going to gain a blessing. Yeah, let's give you a blessing. No, that's more of a godly thing. You are going to gain a charm of vitality. So as you grab this like a star, it's going to give you a sort of like space, sort of like otherworldly charm that enhances you. You essentially have a potion of vitality now, but it's not a potion of vitality. It's like magical inside of you. And
Okay.
yeah, so whenever you want, you can give yourself the benefit of a potion of vitality once, and that will never go away until you use it. And as you land gently on the ground and smile, you caught a star, and you're only one step away from completing your potion. Your nose is gonna fall off.
It's just, this isn't good.
Yeah, your curse is catching up with you.
I'm fucking Voldemort.
Not yet, you're getting there though. All you need now is an old hourglass. Where do you go to get an old hourglass? If you can get that, you can maybe complete this before your curse completely destroys your body.
I mean, I think on a first level basis, she'd probably go to Athena. But I guess, does she know of any of, like, I know all of the gods are collectors in a way, but does she know of anyone that has this particular penchant of, like, collecting rare objects or something like that? Because Athena had the library. So,
Yeah, make me a religion or insight check. It is your choice to decide which, to try to figure which gods might be into that most.
not a 2, for an 8, or sorry, for a 10.
Okay, 10 will be just fine. You know that Zeus's father and his greatest enemy was Kronos.
Yeah.
he probably has within his stores some things to do with time, to maybe understand his enemy. And as you think that, you know that Athena is the goddess of wisdom and warcraft, and she would wish to understand her enemy. And so maybe she might possess something to do with time. Hermes himself is a messenger god and probably has to be on time a lot. He might have such a thing laying around his place. I think with the 10, those are the 3 gods that pop into your head that might possess an old hourglass.
Okay.
As you are sitting there considering this, you're like, no, not a Hephaestus, probably Zeus. One of your ears falls off.
Who's closest?
Athena.
To Athena.
Running. As you're running and you're sort of bouncing, you feel your other ear going until it falls off as well.
So yeah, I'm just flying and body parts are falling off.
Yeah, you're like, ah! You start flying across the sky, and as you're doing so, and then you like kind of land kind of hard, and one part of your bottom lip just like swings down, and just like it's like,
I'll keep it for later. Put it in a pocket.
you just whip it off and put it in your pocket. Oh, it's so fucking gross. And you like break in. The owl's there, and the owl goes, "I am the owl. Oh, gods, what is wrong with you?"
Am I there?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's a good point. At
Yeah,
least
I would be.
So Katara, you're like, I'll keep this for later, and you bump into Alecia at the door, and you're like, oh, Katara, it's and you see Katara, no nose, no ears, missing her bottom lip. Her upper lip is like just starting to like come off a little bit at the side.
Do you need healing? Like, good.
The tentacle for
I
an
need-
arm smells like
I need an hourglass. I'm running out of
Hourglass,
time.
I run inside with her, like,
yeah.
and I scream to the owl, "Do you have an hourglass? Like an old
An
hourglass?"
ancient one.
An ancient one.
The owl's like, I usually require an exchange, but I think we'll make an exception for this. Seems
Well,
rather important.
Call it a loan.
And it flies down, and it's gonna come back with an old, like as you're waiting for it to find it, you're like standing there like, come on, and your upper lip just falls off.
Oh, I pick it up for her.
Yeah, you pick it up.
I try to put it back on. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Shoving it at her face, and her lip just kind of like cuts. Like it doesn't bleed or anything. It just kind of cuts her upper lip. Her teeth are just out now. She's just like this.
It's okay. It's good. You're still good. You're still good.
Yeah, you feel very loose in the skin. Like you don't feel it has like a lot of attachability. Like you don't want to smile too much. It might happen.
Just don't move. Don't move. Don't breathe or anything.
The bird flies back and places in front of you an old hourglass with red sand in it and a very old, possibly delicate wood frame. It says, there's this, is this what, I don't know why you would need this, but here you go.
How ancient is this ancient?
It's pretty fucking ancient. It's the first one.
This will do, I suppose. All right, Katara. What next?
I think I'll need assistance.
Okay, I'll volunteer. Bird, help.
Me? I'm a librarian. I'm not an alchemist.
Do you have it?
I need an alchemist.
Is there an alchemist here?
I've worked with Gyasi.
You should go find go find Asclepius. He's the god of medicine. He knows alchemy and stuff.
Oh, where's he?
He's down below. Just go across the bridge, right next to Ares' house. You can't miss it.
Okay, fine. Come on. How far away is that?
You guys go. It's not far. You guys go running down.
I turn into a horse, like.
Yeah, you turn into a horse. Guitar's like, and like on the back. Your skin is becoming loose, and you can feel it like flopping around. Yeah, it's like you have wings. You got like grandma skin now. It's just kind of like flopping on your arm a little bit.
Tell me we passed by somebody. Like poor Thalia is gonna be.
Thalia and Ouroboros. But meanwhile, back on the top of the mountain, like Like everyone's just having like a crazy party for Silenos.
Like,
Um,
does anyone step out drunk because they're puking or something and see this
well,
demon?
these are gods. They don't puke.
Yeah, but
They party pretty damn hard.
please
So,
tell me
but what
something.
you do pass on the way there is, I will say you do pass Asclepius. He's not much of a partier. He's a doctor. He takes himself very seriously. He turns around with his staff and he looks and goes, "Oh yes, what do you? Oh my!
I stop and I change back. We need your help. You're not
Oh,
Hudson,
you're
right?
one of those. I can see you need help.
Yes,
you're-
she needs help.
Are you a horse or are you a person?
I'm a druid and I'm an archdruid of the Circle of the Moon of Lands of Gaia and I need your help.
Oh, okay. What about?
She needs our help. She's falling to pieces.
Oh, quite literally, I see. She's a very particular form of indication. Very well, come inside. You may use my facilities. And he opens the door, and you see plenty of alchemist tables and herbalism supplies, and you like take the pan, the pot of pan out. To begin working on your potions. We're gonna come back to that in a second. But essentially, Katara, you've begun. You have the assistance of Alecia, who I'm sure is an expert herbalist, and will be a fine assistant. Not to mention the actual medicine god will be quite a helpful assistant. But anyway, meanwhile, back on the top of the mountain, Ouroboros, Silenos, Thalia, what's going on? You've just become a god. What's going on?
Who wants to have a shootout?
Artemis is like, I do. And everyone's like, yeah. Dionysus is like, I do. And you got like you and Dionysus and Artemis like line up.
No, Silenos is feeling a lot better than he has in a long time because he was very stressed about the two paths. He hasn't been able to relax at all. Now that he has, he doesn't remember his name is Silenos. Or he has godly constitution, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you may have a godly constitution, but you're drinking some pretty hearty wine. This is Dionysus' wine. And you're like, and Dionysus is like, oh, somebody get Hephaestus, put an apple on his head, yeah! And then it's like, oh man. And they drag him over, and Artemis is like, okay, I can do it, my eyes closed. And it shoots off of Hephaestus' head, and everyone's like, yeah! And they're like, get the cupbearers, yes, get the cupbearers! And yeah, you guys do you just start shooting apples off of the heads of the cupbearers who don't seem to mind at all. They're just like, whatever. Like, this has probably happened 100 times, and these are the gods. They're not very bad shots. So you guys, you guys do some shooting and hang out and have a good time and laugh and celebrate. Is there anything in specific you guys would like to do up here?
I will go speak to Zeus about the thing that I was given and then I got the vision of again.
You go to Zeus, and he's having a rather good time. He's actually in a rare moment where he's like with Hera, and the two of them actually seem to be quite happy and like enjoying each other's company. There's a big smile on both of their faces, like grandma and grandpa watching like the Christmas party. And Zeus sees you approach and says, Silenos, god of the hour, what is it that I can do for you?
Great King, I believe we should speak alone. It's rather dire.
That's very well. Hera, give us but a moment. Hera's like, yes, and she wanders off. And Zeus says, my boy, he slams like a massive hand on your shoulder. He goes, what can I do for you? What can I do for you?
Great King, I hope you know I would make the choice 100 times over again.
I'll drink to that!
As would I. Till the end of time. Yeah. However, there is something that Nix possesses that is harmful to even you. Our very essence. I felt it I felt it destroy our essence, and that was the moment I knew to cast it away. But it's there, and I am not wielding it. Someone else will.
I see. Which is why we must remain vigilant against the darkness and keep the light, the thunder, strong. You have done well to cast out the darkness, and who knows what kind of evils you would have unleashed on this mountain. But you have defended us, Silenos. So here's to you. Cheers! Cheers.
Yeah, yeah. And
To
I'll
Silenos,
cheers.
the
Yeah.
slayer and defender of Olympus.
Yeah, and then he'll party and drink and go sit with Thalia and thank her, and yeah.
Awesome. And Zeus does put a last hand on your shoulder and says, "You do have my respect and admiration for turning away from the appeals of darkness. It can be difficult, as you will come to understand it." Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah. He says, "As you'll come to understand it, temptation is a great thing we gods must face daily. Now, we're done talking. Hera's looking really good over there, so I'll talk to you later." And he'll log out.
Awesome.
Just been a
yeah.
once.
Silenos just wanted to mention that thing because that really freaked him out. And yeah, so he'll mention it again, but when they're all more cognizant. But yeah, he will drink and imbibe. And yeah.
We're gonna go to Gyasi now, who has been so patiently waiting at the forges of Hephaestus and enters within. So yes, Gyasi, the forges are empty in this time, but not empty of Hephaestus' servants. 3 Cyclopses and the spirits of dwarves will linger here as you enter. Who would you like to speak to? What would you like to do?
Well, it's a little superfluous, but I was going to ask probably one of the dwarven spirits. Hephaestus's son made a prominent effort to get a rock that had fallen from the sky.
Uh-huh.
And he used it in the crafting of some weapons that went to each of us.
Uh-huh.
I would presume that Hephaestus may use similar materials.
Meteorites,
Yes.
they're known to, yes.
Are there shavings from where it's been honed and sharpened?
Sure, yeah, we have plenty. Yeah, and they all nod at each other.
Could I get a small leather bag of just the shavings?
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah, not today. That'll be 4.
They go, I don't know. We're not really supposed to just hand out materials to anyone who comes through. What do you need it for?
I have a friend who is cursed and she needs stardust.
Stardust.
Well, they were talking about falling stars, and it occurred to me that falling stars were the rocks that he picked up and then used to make our stuff. So if they sharpened it, there should be shavings and filings, which would, normally be cast off.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's true. Stardust does have a lot of magical quality. We would love to, but we're not really supposed to hand out materials. You could ask Hephaestus when he comes around. they kind of like look at each other a little unhappy that they have to say no.
It's all right. It was just a thought. I'm just trying to further her idea to become uncursed.
All right, maybe one more persuasion check.
Well, it would be tough to do worse than I did the first time.
Sure.
Yeah, we got up to a whole 9.
A 9. And yeah, you're not proficient in it. Yeah, they're like, look, man, I'm sorry, I really can't. And then a dwarf across the way goes, I was in love once. I too was in love with a woman, and I built her grand things. I understand what it's. And they're like, okay, you gotta go now. We gotta quiet him out. And the guy just starts going off, and he goes, it's time to make grand gestures. Who's to say Smiths can fall in love and make grand? And they start shooing you out so that they can calm this guy down and get him back to work.
Fair enough.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all right.
Oh, Gyasi, you have luck on your jewel. If you want to
I
use
don't
that.
have it.
Oh shit. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So meanwhile, we're gonna head back to Asclepius's temple, where you're hard at work, Katara. You've got the pot of pan out, and you're working on. Yes.
Okay,
Lisa.
I'm gonna ask Katara what skill she's gonna use, because I want to cast the enhance ability on her.
I need to make several potions, so I'm already quite proficient with herbalism, but it's sometimes the alchemical nature, and it's more difficult.
Okay.
So basically, she's proficient in herbalism kit, but alchemist kit, no. So I don't know what that would be.
You hear because the pot demands alchemy skill, right?
Yeah.
You
think so.
hear from the door, well, I'm sure I could be a help with that, couldn't I? And you see standing in the doorway, leaning against the door, looking real good. You see the horn and cloven-hoofed god Pan standing at the door. He says, Katara, my favorite girl, you've been using my pot again?
Yes, and I think it's time to use it again, as I grab the other pieces that are falling off of me.
He goes, you're right falling apart, aren't you? How disgusting. We're going to get you all fixed up and looking hot again. Because now, as long as we're talking about, I think it's time me and you finally talked. And looks at you, Alecia. Says, so, you're one of mine, are you?
I just kind of breathe deeply and say, just focus on helping Katara. Yes, I am. Right now I'm helping Katara. Katara.
Are you proficient with? Were you good with the alchemist tools then, my druidy friend?
Herbalism.
Oh, how interesting is that? None of you except I know how to use the alchemy talents. And Scorpius is like, actually, I'm rather proficient. He's like, shut up, you. Goes, now, I am going to be of great help here, but I'm not going to do it without getting to know you a little bit there, girlie. Looking at you, Alecia. You're like, it's time that you've confronted dear old dad, I think.
Would you kindly please help Katara?
I'll do it for a price.
Which is?
Give us a hug.
Slowly and reluctantly, he kind of gives her a hug.
He goes, there, Daddy's got you now. Oh, that's good. Good. All right. No, just let it happen. Stop it. Stop being so tense. Let it happen. All right, there we go. We did it. Oh, doesn't that feel better? There, it's all out in the open. The shores are broken, or the ice is cracked, or something like that. Anyway, and he's going to snap his fingers and point at you, Katara, and he's going to instill upon you the powers of alchemy. You are now proficient with alchemy supplies.
Okay.
It says, now, let's get to work. If there was ever a man who knew how to brew something you probably shouldn't be drinking, it is I.
Amazing.
And Dionysus, but he's no so good at alchemy.
It's not. I ask my father, is alchemy a wisdom skill?
Is alchemy a wisdom skill? No, it is more of an intelligence thing. You have to be smart. Herbalism's more wisdom, but intelligence is for the alchemist.
All right. I'll cast enhance ability with Fox's cunning advantage on intelligence checks, Katara. And I will also constantly be casting guidance on you as well.
Well, I'm going to say the guidance isn't going to work so much. This is a long process. It's going to take a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And Pan says, sorry dear, you dropped your flesh arm off your shoulder there.
Yeah. Okay, we should hurry.
And you two, with the assistance of Pan and Asclepius, will begin to make the final preparations for Katara's concoction. The gods party on Mount Olympus, celebrating the divinity of Silenos, and meanwhile, as quite fittingly, in the shady sort of back rooms of Asclepius' temple, Pan, Alecia, Katara, and Asclepius begin to produce the final elixir for Katara. And we will see next session what it does to her, who she becomes, what powers she grants, how she will change. And soon enough, with that, Oceanus will be faced quite soon.
And somewhere, Gyasi finds an ear.
Yeah, that's weird.
And Pan gets to play I'm Your Daddy.
Oh.
I know, he's got a big sheeting